Hello, Internet. Sorry we are late getting started, but welcome to Death Frost Doom Bitterroot Mountains 1874. We are just convening. We may have one more joiner, but we're glad you're with us. So as I was saying to the group, is there any equipment that we are absolutely in need of that we are missing since after we've chosen our characters?
Well, who's got rope?
I've got rope.
Okay, good. At least someone, as long as one of us has rope, I think we're good. I have a torch.
I've got block and tackle also.
Nice. What about oil?
I don't have any light at all.
Okay. Some of the characters had lanterns and some had torches. Are we down to one torch right now?
I have one.
Torches on Meshach.
I also have one torch.
Or, no, I've got one torch. I see how that is. One torch on me. Yeah.
Okay. And who's got flasks of oil? Nobody.
Nope.
How about if we switch out a lantern and flask of oil to one of your characters? Let's see. Clayton, that might be more appropriate for Kat than anyone else.
Sure. So lantern and oil instead of the torch.
Yeah, and forget about the encumbrance. We can hand wave that for an extra thing of oil.
Okay. I also have 3 rations, tinkerer's tools, and a water skin, and 4 iron spikes, backpack, matches, and ammo.
I've got 3 rations, 4 iron spikes, a crowbar, a mallet, a miner's pick.
You're just like a walking mine, is what you are.
Really, he's got all of the things. I have rations, a copper dowsing rod, a hand axe, my spell book, a water skin, a cooking pot, a jug of moonshine, and my scatter gun.
I do have a jug of ale and tobacco.
And a pipe to smoke it in, too. Yeah, tobacco.
Nice. Well, I've got rations, a torch, water jug, 2 containers of holy water, and then a pistol.
Hope you have ammo with the pistol.
Oh, and a doctor's bag as well for sawing, doing sawbone stuff.
You have
Field amputation.
you have a watch and fob and a,
Oh, yes,
and a
that's
whip
right.
as well. So
That's right.
okay. Anything that anybody wants that is missing or that we think is integral, since we're a small party?
I think it would make sense for my character to have a small knife, but like not anything big enough to fight
Like a
with.
utility knife?
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe some charcoal.
Yeah, or chalk or charcoal and a pocket knife. You can put those on non-encumbering.
Okay.
The Reverend should probably have a copy of the good book.
Oh, he does. Yes, he needs a Bible.
Isn't that his holy symbol?
Yeah, your holy symbol is a Bible.
All right.
Make sure you hit the undead with it when you turn them.
That's right.
Throw the book at them.
That's right. Get you back to the flames of eternal hell, you creature of damnation.
If you hit him with your book, it's like hitting him with a fist, so it's a D2 damage as well.
Okay. And should spellcasters choose spells too at this point?
The cleric can choose. You'll have to do what you normally do. I've already chosen the magic users spells for them.
Right. Got it. Okay. Um,
So why is our party going to the mountain? Do we have reasons?
Well, that's what we're going to do. So let's get started. And the other thing is, guys, and we did get a late start. I kind of planned on not rushing us through, even though we're doing a one-shot, just because there's so much material and it's kind of rich. And but if we run over, or we run out of time, I'll ask you guys when we get close who's willing to stay or go. And there's a couple of possibilities. Either we just run out of time and we go, yeah, that was fun, but we didn't finish, but that's okay. Or we schedule a follow-up and we say, hey, let's all get back together and keep working on that. Or we just stick around and keep playing until we're done playing. So,
okay.
or we can do like the abbreviated version and just start with motivation already all taken care of, and we're up at the graveyard. I mean, we could start halfway through. I prefer not to, but it's up to you guys.
We can start anyway. I should just let you know that I definitely have to take off at 2:30.
Okay.
So that's.
Well, let me just do it the other way. And like I said, if we decide later that we want to play again, we will.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that.
Okay. So all of you find yourself in Valley Home. It's a little town, not very populated, but it serves a large area because there's not much up here in near the panhandle of Idaho. You're actually on the Montana side of the Bitterroot Mountains. And there's a main street. It doesn't even have wooden sidewalks. There's a few buildings scattered around. It's much more cabin-like than it is your typical southwestern, dusty western town. It's not really that kind of place. A lot of lush growth, although piney. I'm going to ask you guys. You all find yourself in Fulkerson's Mercantile. You've been here some amount of time, and Fulkerson's Mercantile has just about everything you could ever want. Even though this is a small town, there's gold mines off to the west, there's mountaineers, there's frontier people, there are settlers. They're spread out, but Fulkerson's is the store. So I'm going to ask you, when did you get to town? There's one NPC you know. Either you met them this morning when you got to town, or maybe you've been in town for a few weeks. Tell me about that NPC. And then, what are you doing in the Mercantile? What did you come here for? And I'll start with you, Clayton.
Okay. I'm going to say Kat has just gotten into town, dodging the law, and the only person she's met in town so far is the bartender. And she's in the mercantile shop at this point, looking for. Just scoping things out.
Okay. David?
Etta May's been in town for a few days. She's the only person she really knows is the madam of the local brothel. She's been up there caring for the ladies. Probably birthed a baby while she's been around, since that's her deal. And I guess she's just in the shop looking to get some, I don't know, looking for parts to build a new still.
There you go.
So she's looking for some copper line.
Keith?
Meshach's just roamed into town recently. He's trying to stay ahead of everything, and he's basically stops in there just to kind of recheck over his gear and make sure if he feels he needs anything, he can possibly find it.
Okay. And
So Reverend George has come to town to bury someone for a funeral, and the funeral is that of the previously the only other religious figure in the town who somehow ended up full of lead. So Reverend George is here to put that person to rest, and maybe there'll be an opening.
So he's networking, basically.
That's right. That's right.
And what are you doing in the mercantile?
I am looking for. I'm here to. I guess I'd like to replace my water jug with a water skin.
Ah, okay.
Water jug, if it's ceramic, and if it gets takes a hard knock, it'll just.
Not good for a traveling man.
That's right.
Okay, so there are two people other than yourselves in the mercantile. There's Old Man Fulkerson, and he is behind the counter, and his daughter is across the store. Nancy, she's behind the sewing notions, fabric part, measuring out some fabric, and he calls out to his daughter. He said, "That crazy Injun was in here last week talking about the ghost story," and they were having a good laugh about it. And it perks up your ear because they start talking about, oh yeah, there's gold statues and precious gems. Their medicine man saw them in a vision, and they sort of chuckle to themselves. You guys engage or talk to these people?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, tell me what you do.
All right, I'll go over to the notions since that's my bag, and go ahead.
Kat's pretending to be looking through the materials and the goods in the store, but is kind of sidling over and eavesdropping on the conversation while also keeping an eye out, trying to figure out what the law enforcement situation is like in town.
It can't be too good if the priest got shot. All right, I'll say, what's the daughter's name again?
Nancy.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll say to Nancy, tell me more. I want to hear about this here vision.
Oh, it's an old story. Just all the Indians talk about it. It's all hooey, if you ask me. We've been here, Daddy, almost 20 years now. I was just a little baby when we came. Nothing's true about it. Supposedly there's demons up in the mountains, and they come and they kill people, and the Indians rose up and they took care of it, and now we're all safe. Seems silly to me.
Do they talks about any particular mountain?
Well, the mountains, if you walk down the street, I think you'll see the ones we mean. And she points outside. Let me show you what the mountains look like. When I crashed all the stuff that I had set up, you guys is gone. Let's try this one more time. So yeah, can you guys see that picture?
Yes.
That's what you see when you're down in Valley Home looking up. And And those are the most distinctive mountains around. There's hills that are covered with pines all around, and they're small mountains, but that's what sticks up above the tree line.
Wow. It's foreboding.
Cat spits on the floor and says something to the effect of, "I don't believe in fairy tales, sermons, or stories about money."
And Nancy blushes a little. She goes, "Well, I do believe in sermons, but I'm with you about the fairy tales."
Demons are real.
And the Indians know more about the bad things in the hills than you do.
You think so? I don't know.
Ain't nothing up there but a bunch of lonely, sad folk, just like everywhere else.
Oh, it's just these Indians come into town, get everybody upset about things. I think it's silly. That up at the Indian camp, I wish they would just stick up there and not come into town.
Where is this Indian camp?
Oh, Daddy, can you tell these folks where that Indian camp is? And she doesn't. She's like doesn't want to talk about the Indian camp and pretends like she doesn't know anything about it. So old man Fulkerson, he pipes up and he's like, "Well, why the hell would you want to go up there?" Well, he doesn't say hell, not to Granny. He wouldn't swear to Granny. Why in tarnation would you want to go to the Indian camp?
Has anyone brought the word of God to those people?
Oh, a few have tried. I think the last one didn't fare too well, but you're welcome to try. Anyway, if you want to get there, just go all the way out north of the on the main street. There's a path off to your left. Head up that path and kind of go around the bend, and you'll see it there.
What kind of Indians are we talking about here? Pawnee?
Well, these are the Nez Perce, I guess. I don't know. They're all the same to me, but they call themselves Nez Perce, I think.
All right.
Well, secretly, as far as the referee is concerned, Kat thinks that an Indian settlement may be a good place to lie low and not have legal interference, so she may be inclined to wander that way.
Okay.
Well, now, Reverend, would you care to accompany me up to the Indian camp to ask some questions of those folk?
Well, it'd be a pleasure. My name is Reverend George Wilhoyd, ma'am, and you are?
I'm Etta Mae Calhoun.
Nice to meet you, Ms. Calhoun. He's actually a feminist reverend, despite living in the 1874. So he says Ms.
It's Mrs. Calhoun.
Yes.
You can call me Granny. I earned it.
Everybody in the South called everyone Ms. 100 years ago, so it doesn't matter.
Yes,
call me Granny. I earned it.
I'd be pleased to accompany you, and I'm curious about these Nez Perce. There used to be, Jesuits running around here, and I fear some of these people may have got the wrong idea about the true religion. So I figure I'd go up there, set them straight.
Alrighty.
Well, that sounds like a sight to behold that I do not want to miss out upon. So I will happily tag along to watch this story unfold.
What about you, Keith? What does Meshach think of all of this Indian talk?
Yeah, I'd be interested in seeing how the Reverend fares out there. I think I'll just tag along also.
Oh boy.
All right.
It's all for the pure entertainment of watching the Reverend trying to convert them.
Be a sight to behold, that's for sure.
All right.
Okay.
Apparently
You
we are
guys headed
wandering out of
of
town.
For
Okay.
the sake of our viewers, I just want to say I don't actually endorse the Reverend's policy here, but I think it is in character.
Oh yeah, especially the subtle dig against the Catholics by saying, the Jesuits would give them the wrong impression about Christianity. That's
Yeah, I
fantastic.
don't think any fire and brimstone preachers were too keen on Jesuits,
Or Catholics in general.
or Catholics in general.
Papists.
Okay, so you head up the main drag, and you see off to your left. It winds up a little bit. It isn't in the mountains, but there's a winding path through some heavily forested area, and you come to a clearing, and there's actually a couple of wooden buildings there. There's also off to the right. On your left, there's some wooden buildings. Off to your right, sort of nestled in a little area, are some teepees. So it looks like they're sort of in transition between having a settlement here, and there are some folks who just come and go. It's a little bit of a place in transition. In the central part, where the buildings to one side, teepees to the other, there is a fire pit, and there's also actually a well with a pump.
Is there anyone visible standing around?
There are two people on the sort of front porch of one of these buildings, elderly people, and then also there's a woman at the pump with a child, and there appear to be people just at a quick glance actually inside the teepees, and people are just going about their daily business.
Mm-hmm. Do they have horses?
There are no horses in sight.
Does anyone look like I'd be offended if I wandered over and refilled my canteen from the well?
You can't tell if they would be offended or not.
I'll stroll over to the well and sit back in and sip some water.
So you walk up there, and the woman at the well, she snatches up her baby, or her toddler, and she retreats to the flap of the teepee. And a man walks up to you, and he starts speaking to you in a language you don't understand. And he's not being threatening, but he seems questioning.
I'll gesture towards the well and point at my canteen, kind of shake it like it's half empty.
He kind of gives you a suspicious look, but he kind of hand waves you like, okay.
I'll unscrew the top and pump the pump just enough to get the canteen full, and I'll stop the pump and put the cap back on the. I'll take a sip, and then I'll put the cap back on the canteen and nod to him.
Okay. Again, he's not like, oh, you're my best friend, but he's not going to attack or anything. So, where are you all? Are you stuck together? Kat, are you observing from the bushes? What's the...
I'm going to go and do likewise as far as filling the water skin.
Oh, go ahead, David.
I'm going to head over to where the elders are on the porch.
And...
You said there was a couple of old people?
Mm-hmm, yeah. And Peter, what's the Reverend doing?
Reverend will continue to escort Etta May over there, and he figures the elders are a good place to start too.
Okay. So as you are doing that, a younger man than the elders walks up, and he's dressed in like denim and a plaid shirt. He isn't dressed in ceremonial gear or anything, but obviously he's Native American. He's got a long braid, black hair, rusty skin, and he says, "I don't know what all you white folks are doing here, but can I help you?"
We heard addressing the folks at the well, or just everybody in general?
Sort of in general. He walks up. You're not very far from each other, and kind of looks around, and he says that out loud. You guys are up on the porch. The other two are down by the well, and kind of looks around and says that out loud.
Well, I'll raise my hat, in a gesture of hello, and I'll say, Good day to you. My name is Reverend George Wilhoit, and I thought some of you folks up here might be interested in hearing the good word.
And he looks at you. The good word about what?
Well, I don't know if I should jump into the details right away, but the good word about great spirit in the sky above, and eternal salvation, and the road to heaven in a nutshell.
Oh, shut up, white man. We just got rid of the last one of you going on about white man religion. We got our own religion. We don't need yours.
Well, I've heard that plenty from folk out here, but some do take to it.
Well,
And
some might. Some might.
Everyone should be free to make up their own mind, don't you think?
Sure. He's just like rolling his eyes at you.
Hey there, young fella. I came up this long path because I had some questions.
Oh, do you now? What can I help you with? What's your name?
Anime Calhoun.
Oh, what can I help you with, Adam May?
Well, I hear tell there's some evil in these here mountains.
And his face drops.
I needs to know about the evil. I needs to be prepared for it.
Sorry, David, you're cracking me up with that accent. He motions you over. There's another chair on the porch of where the two elders are.
Oh, I'll sit down.
And yeah, he said, "Ma'am, why don't you have a seat?" And he's a little bit smirking. You're not quite sure what his deal is, but he says to the two people sitting there, he said, "This lovely lady, she wants to know about the evil around here." And he introduces you. This is Michael and Ezekiel. They might have some information for you. And he walks off. And
Right,
you say,
then.
what kind of evil? And they're elderly people. They're obviously perhaps even raised by some of these Jesuits, or who knows. They speak English very well, but they're dressed much more traditionally.
They have very Christian names, though.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hear tell there's some evil up in the mountains. Something terrible is brewing up there. And I know something of the old magic. So, I wants to hear what's up there.
Our people, they took care of what was up there.
No, you never quite take all the care of what's up there.
Thus, no white man or woman has any business going up there into those mountains.
Why not? What's so terrible up in those mountains?
And so they look at each other and sort of nod, like, yeah, they might as well tell this little old lady what's going on.
It's the Miss Marple complex.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And they sort of patronizingly, pat your knee. Thousands of years ago, before our people even knew their name, there were demons and evil spirits that came and invaded our land. They took our people. They killed our people. This is before any of us even knew who we were. And we tried to fight them, but there was no way to fight them. Our great medicine doctor, he had a vision hundreds of years ago. The only thing that we could do was wait for the 20 great medicine doctors. Only once every other generation was there anyone born who was strong enough to fight this evil. Finally, oh, it's been almost 80 years ago now, in my grandpappy's time, that the 20 great medicine doctors headed for the mountain, and they stopped the evil. We don't appreciate anybody ever going back to that mountain. None of us step foot on it. None of us will ever go there again. If you do, you could bring destruction, not just to my people, but to people who look like you, too.
Well, I wouldn't want to do that.
I would hope not.
If there's gold in them there hills, you can bet that white folks will be heading up there to make their fortune, for vile lucre is ever the lure to sin.
Well,
So what you're saying is that this is a undervalued real estate opportunity. That
and they look at each other, and they look up at all of you, and they just shake their heads. No one's ever come back. You head up to that mountain, you're heading to your death.
Well, we're all headed to our deaths. It's just a matter of where and when.
Amen, sister.
Just give him a dirty look.
well, Kat thinks that it might be a great place to set up camp anyway. That she's not going to be disturbed by other people. So
You're just gonna hang out on the haunted mountain.
But didn't the daughter of the shopkeeper hear some Nez Perce talking about the revival of the evil?
About 80, 90 years ago, some white men came through here. First ones we ever saw. And something happened in the mountain. And that's when we had to go. We had to take our 20 great leaders. And they never came back, but that evil stopped. Now, I haven't seen anything, nobody's seen anything come out of that mountain since. I don't know who's talking about, oh, it needs to be taken care of. We took care of it. My people took care of it, and it's done.
Were these white folks waving crosses around and wearing black robes and muttering stuff in funny languages?
No, I know who you're talking about. You're talking about them cat lickers.
And yeah.
No, they came after.
Okay.
No, these people that came before, they just went through. They were in canoes and explorers, I guess. Well, you do what you please. I can't never stopped a white man from doing whatever he pleased anyway. But I'm telling you, don't go up on that mountain.
Which mountain exactly? Because my friend here, the prospector, is probably going to go up into the mountains, and I want him to be safe.
Yeah, well, he won't be safe, and he points up to the high peak. That mountain. Don't go there.
All right. Well, thank you for the education.
And he kind of looks disgusted. I'm telling you, don't go there, because he can tell what's in your eyes. Don't go there.
All right, well, I've got all we can get from here, I think. Unless the Reverend wants to have another go at these guys.
If perhaps the power of my book were demonstrated in me going up there and coming back, maybe that would convince these people that there's some merit in it.
You come back from that mountain, you'd be the first one ever. I reckon I'd pay a little more attention to you if you could do that. And he sort of chuckles like, ha ha ha, isn't that hilarious?
Well,
Motivation established.
my course is set.
I head back to town. I gotta get my bag and my scattergun.
Okay, so we head back down. Everybody headed back to town. Where are you going, Kat?
Kat's gonna poke around here and see if there's a place if she can set up camp here, at least for the night or so. Or
Okay.
I mean, because do I tell you this group's gonna be coming back through here on their way back up the mountain, or?
No, well, they'll be nearby. Yeah. Actually, if you go down the path, and it kind of led off to the right from the main drag of town, but as you get closer to that main road, and if you make a left alongside that main road, there's a sort of sheltered clearing where you could sort of hang out for and make a place to sleep for the night.
Oh, she'll follow the group.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I'll follow the group too. See if possibly check out and see if there's room in the town to spend the night, so we can possibly leave out fresh in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah, I size up the group. They all look pretty tough. What do y'all think about heading up into that mountain tomorrow morning?
That sounds like a thought. Be interested to see what's actually up there.
Ain't nothing up there but stories and superstition, but yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I
happy
agree
to go
with
along.
Kat, but I think a stroll through the pleasant stroll in the mountain air, come back down, tell those people what we've done, preach a sermon. That'd be a good use of a day. Doing the
Yeah,
Lord's work.
I can keep my eyes open for a little bit of a gold vein while we're up there, because I sure could use it.
Okay.
Wow, judging by what we heard, there might be gold you can just pick up.
That would be interesting too.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, maybe we just meet in front of the dry goods store in the morning.
All right. See if the town's got a inn that or hotel that I can stay at for the night.
Yeah, and there is a I wouldn't call it an inn exactly, but there is a place that rents out enough rooms for all of you to.
I'll go back to
spend the night.
my cot in the house of ill repute.
Yep. So you've got a spot to stay. Well, let's not spend a lot of time on that, but let's just assume that you've all got a good night's sleep. Everybody's got their gear and they're
Ethel,
ready to get out. Yes, sir.
Can I have precast read magic?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Oh, sweet. 4. Cool. All right, so in the morning I will memorize summon, hold portal, and continual light.
All right, and you've already cast read magic, so it's at work upon you.
Upon me.
Okay. Alrighty. So you get out in the morning, and again, you head kind of back down the way that you were going, but to get to the mountain, and if you remember from that picture, you have to kind of go around a small ridge, and so that's all the way out the north end of town. You take the path or a smaller road off to your right, and then it heads around, it sort of winds around that ridge into another valley, and that's a straight shot up to the path that leads up the mountain. So as you're headed up there, hang on a second, I'm getting a message that might be from one of our friends. Nope. No, Anthony. As you're headed up there, you hear this sort of mewling sound. And it might be like a fox. By this time, the trees have gotten less sparse, but there's still a fair amount of forestation. And maybe it's a fox or a wolf babies. You're not sure what it is. And then, you hear these noises in the forest of birds, owls hooting, and various sort of morning sounds that are going on in the mountains. But if you stick to the path, it looks like a pretty clear way through as you start to ascend the mountain.
Does the path look recently used?
Nope. It looks remarkably untrodden. You're the only snow. It hasn't snowed since you've been in town for weeks, and probably hasn't snowed for months. But there's still snow on the ground, and it is not broken on this path.
Okay.
It was early on. You saw where people walked up and then took off the path, and maybe a little cabin in the distance or something. But at this point, where you're halfway up the path, nope, there are no tracks.
And so the sound that we're hearing, you said it sounds like mewling?
Yeah, like maybe there's a fox or some a young animal or something.
Do we have an estimate as far as how far away it sounds?
Probably maybe 30, 40 feet, but it's hard to tell. There's trees and ice and snow, so it's a little bit tough to tell.
Might be good eating.
I would like to try to sneak up and get an eyeball on whatever it is that's making that sound.
Okay.
I'd love to fix me some varmint.
So you want to. So you take off and you're going through off the path and into the treed area.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do have 3 points in stealth.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, stealth is what it will take. So roll me a stealth check.
Okay, and so let me see. D6.
Oh, that should do it.
Did that? Oh. Okay, so which one of those did I roll first? I didn't mean to roll twice.
The 5 came up first.
Okay, yeah. So, no, I got 3 points in stealth, so that's.
Yeah, but 3 is from the top. Usually in Lamentations.
Oh, I thought it was 1, 2, or 3 was the.
No, because everybody gets 1, so it would be 1 to 4.
No, but he has 3 points total, is what he means.
Oh.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Okay.
Yeah. So I had to roll a 3 or under.
Oh, you're rolling low. Okay.
Yeah, rolling low is what I was
Sorry.
planning into. That's okay.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with the system. I've only played one other game, but that's how that was my understanding. But
yeah, no, that's
that
mine
being
too.
said, I'm gonna.
You have to roll add or under.
Okay.
I haven't played this system before at all.
Okay, well we'll walk you through it as best we can. I'm no expert in it, but David has played this system more than any of us, I think. So we can help each other out there. All right, so you don't sneak up, but you do see nestled in the trees. There's like 2 or 3 wolf cubs, and they're on their own in the snow, and they're sort of whining. As dogs do. And they're probably about, as you get close, you can see there's 3 of them, and they probably weigh about 15 pounds each, and they're sort of snuggled together.
Sounds like good eating.
Yeah.
Does anybody else follow on, or are you on your own there, or tell me where everybody is?
Well, he was being sneaky, so I'm waiting.
So you're all back on the path. You're probably
Doesn't want me stumbling around behind him.
Right.
I don't need to be stumbling around behind anyone either. I'm probably fairly noisy with all the metal I carry.
You rattle.
Yeah. So you were like a one-man band of rattling metal implements.
I try not to clatter too much, but I'm sure I'm a clatter and flat track.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess I'll try to shoot one of them. I've got the pistol.
Okay. This will be a nice test of the new firearms rules.
All right.
What's he doing over there? I asked.
Getting us some eats.
He found.
So,
Nice and tender by the sounds of it.
so I didn't see the firearm rules. Does it work just like D20 or?
Oh, sorry. Let me. Hang on one sec. Like I said, everything that I opened got closed. So let me open.
It's
Google
just like
Drive.
a D20, same old, same old. You add your dex to your attack bonus, which I think is already on the sheet, and
Yeah.
it does D8 damage for a pistol.
Okay.
Firearms cheat sheet. Yeah. So you have a pistol. It's you have one in your magazine. It does a 1d8. You've got plenty of range. You're only about 10, 12 feet from these things. You do have a misfire chance of 2 in 10.
Okay.
So go
Really?
ahead and really.
That's rough.
Yeah.
All right. So I rolled a 7. My ranged attack bonus is 2. So that's a 9.
Yeah. It hits.
Wow, puppies are really easy to shoot.
Puppies are really easy to kill.
Imagine that. Okay, so D8.
So you kill one of them. They just like, and it's dead. And the other two like are obviously startled. The sound is really loud.
What the hell?
Yeah. I'll
Not being stealthy.
So, go ahead, Keith. Go ahead. I didn't hear what you said.
I'm going to go ahead and pull my axe and head towards the sound. Because if someone's shooting, I'm kind of concerned that they might need aid.
Okay. Yeah. So
I'll
Keith-
follow along with my scattergun at the ready.
Keith. Well, okay. So anybody, and what about you, Reverend George? You sticking on the path, or
I'm
you?
gonna pull out my pistol and get behind the nearest tree and look for who's shooting at us.
Okay, because you don't know that it was your buddy who fired the pistol. Okay,
Sure.
fair enough. Let's see. Everybody make a what? A what? How are we going to do this? A skill check for... give me a second here. Let's make a choice.
Well, if the wolf is coming at us, you could just roll surprise chance.
Yeah, everybody make a roll a d6. And let me know what you rolled.
Oh crap! I rolled a 1.
So,
I rolled a 1.
isn't there a way in Google Hangouts to roll something?
Yeah, I generally don't like it, but if you guys want to use it, you're more than welcome to.
It's not showing my result up on my screen like normal, but it shows on the computer monitor. But normally it shows for everybody on DiceStream, but for some reason DiceStream is saying my browser is not compatible or something.
Oh, we are having a heck of a time today. Okay, so
I did roll a 1 according to it.
Oh, okay. Here we go. All right. All right. Let's see. Maybe where's the dice stream thing?
it's
All right. Roll a d6. Roll.
You click 1 and then
There
roll.
we go. All right. I think I rolled a 5.
I think
Yep.
you did. So if we're at or under, the surprise thing always throws me for a loop because of the way they figure it. But you had to roll a 1 or a 2 to not be surprised.
No.
No.
I think
It's
you
the
had to roll
opposite.
1 or a 2 to be surprised, and everybody else isn't. Because it's a 2 in 6 chance. It's the same as the other stuff, right?
Right, but that's the chance of a creature against you, if I understand the rules right.
Well, it's just a chance of being surprised. So yeah, my character's surprised.
Okay. Anybody who rolled a 1 or a 2 is surprised.
Yay! I'm surprised.
I love surprises.
Good thing you're in front.
Yeah.
And so, all right, and the other 2 are not. So, Kat, you see coming out of the between the trees, out of the dark, you see a very large wolf.
And you just shot one of his puppies.
Uh-huh.
One of her puppies, I'm sure.
One of her puppies,
Oh.
indeed. So go ahead and I think we should roll for initiative, actually.
And what do we want to roll for you?
A d6.
Are we doing group initiative or?
Yeah.
Okay.
For this one, we'll do group initiative. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, do individual initiative across the players. Sorry.
We don't need to roll, Keith. We're not doing anything anyway.
Yeah. I rolled a 5.
What's your dex?
My dex is 15.
Okay.
Ooh.
So you have initiative.
Okay.
So this wolf, she comes leaping out of the forest, and she's massive. She must weigh 180 pounds. She's slathering at the mouth, and she is pissed.
Well, I intend to shoot her, same as I shot the other one.
Okay. So she comes running, and she's actually leaping through the air. She's going to try and attack you that way.
Alrighty.
No.
So ranged attack bonus is 2. So with, what was that, 8? Yeah, 10.
Yeah. So she's leaping at you, and it's all moving so fast, and you pull off a shot, and it goes wide. You miss her.
Okay. Is this a 6-shooter that I've got, the pistol?
No.
Or?
Pistols, revolvers are the only Does it say pistol on your sheet? Let me check.
Yeah, it just says pistol.
Yeah. No, that's a single shot, one bullet magazine.
Oh, right. Okay. Then, all right.
So, yeah, in order to reload, although I think you're going to be in melee here in a second anyway.
So what is it, like a Derringer or something?
It's yeah.
Or
Some old breech loading thing that you.
fancy shooting iron, targeter's pistol or something.
Yeah, it takes 2 rounds to reload according to,
Minus your dex, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so she hops on you. Does a 10 hit?
My AC is 13.
Okay. She leaps on you, but she sort of hits you shoulder side and kind of bounces off of you, and you both are still standing.
Okay.
So you need to reload, or are you going to melee attack?
Yeah, I will try to garrote the.
So garroting rules are kind of interesting. You use the grapple rules. Let me bring it up here. It's kind of it's.
I read it actually just before because I saw it as I was looking at Cat 2, and it's if you hit, you automatically grapple,
Mhm.
and then they just take 1d6 per round.
But you have to hold them each time, right?
Yeah, you have to hold them, but you get the grapple, so you don't have to go through all of that, which is not a bad idea because a wolf that you've got garroted can't.
Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm thinking, and Kat's pretty buff. She's got 17 strength, so
You can probably hold him or her.
I hope so.
Okay,
Give it a
so go
shot.
ahead and roll your to hit.
Okay. So, melee attack +3, so 6, that's a 9.
So close. Yeah, you sort of, go to get her by the neck, and she slips away.
Well, they are wily, aren't they?
Yes. And she immediately turns, and again, she's gonna go for your throat.
Whoa.
Ooh, and she rolls 17.
That's gonna hit.
Okay.
All right. What about the rest of us? Are the second bunch in now?
You can be.
Yep.
Yeah, Miss Shack and
Have you closed?
Miss Calhoun was running up to see what the shot was.
Okay.
Mhm.
David and Keith, did you roll initiative?
We didn't because we were surprised, but there's been
Okay.
like a couple
Well,
of sets of
I
attacks
did
now.
go
No,
ahead and
I rolled a 4.
I rolled a 5.
All right, I got a 4.
Okay. So, Keith, you see your compatriot there sort of doing dancing with wolves. And what does Meshach do?
Well, I don't think he really wants to be friendly with the wolf, and so I guess I'll attempt to cleave the wolf with my axe,
Okay. Go ahead and roll your 2 hit.
and that's a D20, correct?
Yep.
That's right.
Total of a 10.
Okay. Well, she's dodges right out of the way right as you're doing that, and your axe goes down into the snow.
That probably makes a cool noise.
Yeah, real good on the blade too. I'll have to resharpen.
So, Peter and David, what are your deck scores?
Mine is 15.
Mine is 13.
Okay, so David, what does Etta May do?
What kind of damn fool attacks a wolf with a piece of string?
I'm just gonna grab my hatchet and go after it.
Okay,
Stick the hatchet into the thing's back.
go ahead and roll.
Sure. All right. I have a 14 plus, I guess, 1, so 15 altogether.
That hits.
All right. I'll roll my damage. 3 points of damage.
Okay.
Y'all standing too close for me to use my scatter gun.
and Reverend George.
Reverend George is going to run up and pull out his whip, and staying 10 feet away from
There you
the
go.
wolf,
Yep.
he is going to down, beast, and he's going to attack her with the whip. And he rolls an 18.
Whoa.
Whoa. You hit. Doesn't matter what your bonuses are.
Yeah, an 18, it only does D4 damage, which is a 1.
Okay.
And I
Well,
don't think there's any other effects from a whip, so
Well,
No.
You might piss it off a little.
it makes a substantial cracking noise, though.
yes, it's quite impressive in that way. Yes.
Get ye down, critter of Satan.
All right. So she backs up a few steps, and she sees these
A pack.
her eyes are wild, and she sees this pack of humans in front of her. Clayton is still the closest, so she again makes a running leap for Cat. Oh, a cat and dog fight. Whoops. Nope. 5 ain't gonna hit you. So you're able to put a shoulder up and save yourself from her bite.
Okay.
You got to prove me wrong with the garrote now.
Yeah, I intend to try.
All right, so go ahead, Kat.
Oh.
Cat's cradle.
Okay, well, luckily, unlike some other games that we play, there is no critical failure or critical success in
Entirely
Lamentations.
true, but
Good.
that's
I would hate to become internet famous for garroting myself.
And hanging yourself by a pine tree in the forest. Yes, that would be sad.
oh man.
All right, who's next? I think Keith, you were next.
Yeah, I believe so. And I believe a 20 will hit. That's
Whoa.
not
There you go.
so I do a D10 damage. And that's 5. Does strength add to damage or not?
No,
In this game?
No.
not in Lamentations. Just a hit.
So I do 5.
Okay, and you catch her square on the shoulder, and blood starts oozing out. There's blood in the snow. There's blood on her fur. She's not dead, but she definitely is wounded to a pretty good degree. Reverend Will Hoyt.
Another whip attack.
Whoops! Wait a minute. Am I in the right? Actually,
It's
I think
okay.
Oh, it's,
no. You can. I just.
I don't mind.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to be out of his way when he's using his whip anyway.
Okay, go ahead, George.
another whip attack, which does not come close to the wolf.
Oh, well, it's good practice.
It's good that
Randy?
Ellie,
Feel like I'm in
All
a
right.
circus here.
Granny's gonna give another wail on it with her hatchet.
it's good that Granny stepped away from this second.
I only got a 14 this time. Do I still hit?
Yeah, you hit.
Oh, fantastic. Get out of here, varmint! Oh, I only did 1 point.
Oh,
That sucks.
all right. So, she sees this woman swinging an axe at her, and she turns and tries to jump Granny.
What?
Man, she misses. She's hurting really bad, and she
Clearly
doesn't have-
preoccupied.
doesn't have the strength to really leap on Granny, and she kind of
That's
misses.
good. I don't really have the strength to be leapt on by a wolf.
Well, you go in with your axe, trying to hack something up. It's liable to turn on you.
Well, to pick someone more its size.
Yeah.
Okay, she only has 1 attack, so we're back up to the top of the order.
Yeah.
Cat, what do you think?
Right. Then I want to redeem this garage. 3rd time's the charm, right?
That's what they say.
It's gotta be. It's gotta
What's your bonus?
be.
3.
Oh, no.
No, you missed her again.
Oh my god.
On the attack, we'll see if he can put an end to it.
Okay.
Well,
I'm sorry, I can't see what you're rolling. Can you say again?
it just finally appeared when it rolls on mine. For some reason, it keeps popping up. The app features things that my computer or browser don't support, but it rolled 9 plus my 3 is a 12.
You hit?
Oh, nice.
All right, and my damage is another 5.
She's dead. She just like tips to one side and the whole body goes limp. She's covered with blood, and there's blood oozing out in an ever-growing pool on the snow there, and she's a dead wolf.
Well, that's one pelt that's probably not much count.
Well, Cat, I has to tell you, a lasso's usually a heck of a lot bigger than that.
I set to cutting some steaks.
And what about the other 2 little baby wolves? What are you going to do with them?
I'm going to pick them up and remove them from the scene of carnage.
Aw. And then are you going to garrote them and eat them?
No, no. These are God's creatures.
Well, you're gonna have to take care of the stupid things.
How far are we from the Nez Perce village?
Oh, you're probably about 3 miles.
Well, Reverend, if you want to go bring those over there, it should
Uh-huh.
take me about that long to cook us up some lunch.
I'll be back. I'll be back for whatever it is we're doing. I'm going to take the cubs down to the Nez Perce and see if someone will take care of them.
Okay, so...
Cat, make yourself useful. Get me some firewood.
Okay, you had that coming.
Maybe you should use that string to cut some wood. Oh.
Maybe you could tie it together and drag more.
Cat skulks off and gathers some firewood.
Jack's going to clean his axe and touch up the blade where he hit the rocks with it.
There you go.
I clean off
So-
my hatchet and make us some grub from the
Okay.
wolves.
Reverend Wilhoit, you get down to the Nez Perce village, and they see you coming, and they're kind of like trying to look busy. And you have these 2 baby wolves in your arm.
Yeah, I have them wrapped. I took off my morning coat and I have them wrapped, wrapped in a bundle. So,
Mm-hmm.
and they're probably still mewling a bit too.
Yeah. So the middle-aged guy that first came in, first greeted you when you came into town, he's like, "You're back. What do you want this time?"
Well, yes. Are you the chief, sir?
I reckon I am.
Pleased to meet you. We ran into a wolf on the mountain, and there were these cubs, and I don't think we're able to take care of them. I wondered if maybe the Nez Perce have a tradition of raising wolf cubs.
No, and if they came from that mountain, you take them right back up to that mountain. I don't want to have anything to do with them.
They're innocent creatures of God.
He nods and he stares at you.
Oh, well,
Put 'em in
thank
the
you for your
gumbo.
time. I'll head back up the mountain. Oh, how close is the town to the town's right next door, right?
Yeah, the town's like,
All right.
football field away.
I'll head into town and find one of the members of the congregation who had originally contacted me about burying the previous reverend, and see if they'll foster the cubs.
Okay. Pretty much nobody wants wild wolf puppies right now. And they're like, yeah, just kill them or let them go. We can't have wild wolves in our town.
Okay, I will. So I'll bring them back up to the mountain with me.
Okay. Okay, so you're encumbered now.
You stupid wolves.
So the Nez Perce have dubbed the good Reverend Schleps with Wolves.
That's right.
That's
Harsh.
harsh.
No
All
one will
right.
take these wolves. I'm afraid we'll have to raise them ourselves.
Well, that sounds like a good job for you.
I will feed the wolves some rations.
Well, I hope you ain't planning on feeding them more wolf.
Well, I think that would be
An abomination.
That would be in poor taste, Reverend.
Okay.
Speaking of poor taste, Etta, this stew is terrible.
Well, if you want to pick some nails out of my salt, you're welcome to it.
All right, so your wolves weigh about 15 pounds each, and if you set them down, they don't follow because they don't recognize you as daddy.
That's
so,
right.
Yet.
Reverend, I think it may be a kindness if we go ahead and dispatch these wolves on to their greater reward rather than letting them to.
Oh no, the stay is fresher when they're alive.
Yeah.
If he's
Cat
happy
just
to
wants-
cuddle them
Cat
things,
just wants to practice garroting something a little bit smaller than a full-grown wolf.
well, you can work your way up. But
they're like practice dummies for garroting.
if the Reverend wants to cuddle them wolves until we're ready to hit them, that's fine with me.
Suit yourself.
I'll bless the wolves and then release them into the wild.
Okay.
Well, that's hardly a kindness. They's just
Lord.
gonna get ate by somebody else.
The Lord works in mysterious ways, Edda.
Well, I'll say that's the truth. Can we get up this here mountain?
And y'all finished your lunch, and everybody's happy to move on now. And wolves are dressed in one way or t'other. Okay. So, are you headed back up the mountain? I presume you are.
Yep.
No.
As you're coming around, the path winds a little bit. Sometimes you have a sheer on one side. Sometimes you're rocking between two embankments. But you start to smell something. And it smells like carrion, like dead animal. Yep. And that stench of rotting flesh, it's nasty. As you keep going and you come around, you see a crazy scene. In the clearing there in the snow is blood everywhere, bits of animal everywhere, and there's a little like lean-to hut. And coming from the hut, you hear the loudest snoring you have ever heard. It sounds like a steam locomotive coming through, right? There's also a stump with an axe, various implements to do wood carving, and some pieces of wood in various stages of being carved. And that whole scene there is probably about 30 feet across. What do you
It's right
do?
on the path?
It's right off the path, yeah, just right there.
What has he been carving, or her?
You can't really see yet unless you approach, but they're these big shapes and things. There's not, you can't tell what they are yet. A lot of animal skins and then all the bits everywhere.
Nothing looks human, does it?
Nothing that's skinned or the body parts. No, they
Okay.
don't look human.
Okay. How big is the lean-to?
Oh, it's not big. It's like maybe 10 by 10.
Okay. So the loud snoring is not necessarily from a large creature. It's whatever that creature, whoever's snoring is in the lean-to.
Yep.
That's the source of the sound.
And it's probably
That's-
a person.
Okay.
Well, if it's a bar, we can always get Kat to pull out her string.
I'd
That
like.
makes you feel better, Reverend.
All right. Well, I'm gonna walk into the clearing.
I'm gonna
I want to see
sneak.
what he's doing.
Okay.
I'll try to sneak up to the lean-to to get an eyeball on what's inside.
You see inside. Well, let me address David's thing, because as you first walk in, and you're looking around at what you've got there. It's a sort of a workshop. You see all these skins, and they've been cleared of fur and everything, and they have people's names on them. There's one that says Mary Bell Walker. There's another one that says Daniel Smithson, and there's all of these skins, and it's really poorly done. I mean, like the writing on the skins is like looks like somebody wrote it like this, you know.
Mm.
And then you also see these wooden plaques, and again, very, very rudimentary and crudely done, that also have people's names on them.
So he's carving names into plaques?
Into plaques, writing them on
skins and then
skins.
carving them into plaques.
Mhm.
Because there's more names on the skins than there are on
on both. Yeah. And then also you see some sort of taxidermied animals, not even really identifiable. They're so stupid looking. You can't even tell what they are. So that's
been
what
playing
you
with the
there.
varmints. He's been alone here for a while then.
Seems like it, since you didn't see any tracks coming up the hill.
Good point.
I think this here person has gone off his rocker.
So, Kat, you, I'll give you the stealth, because since the inhabitant's sleeping,
Okay.
you peek in. You don't go in, or do you go in?
No, I just want to peek in from the outside. If you said it's a lean-to, so is it completely enclosed, or do I have to like open something to look in?
There's a flap. You know, there's skins draped over these structure, and there's a flap, and it's open enough that you can sort of peek in there. If you want to go look inside, you can make a stealth check, but you can see basically what you see is just the from your vantage point are just giant fur boots. Not giant, but for a person, great big feet. These fur boots, leather pants, and just somebody reclined on a mat, basically, not even a cot. And he's moving a little as he's, you know, and so still sleeping, and you can see the legs and feet of a fairly large man.
Then I go back to the rest of the group and report what I see.
The Reverend pulls out his watch and checks the time.
Okay, let's do a time check on that right now. I'll say it is 10:15 a.m. right now.
Ain't no good Christian sleeping at 10:15 in the morning.
Well, judging by the looks of the place, he's as crazy as you're gonna find. And he's living on a haunted mountain, carving up, I don't know, tombstones in wood. Crazy. I think we should just move on.
Yeah, I think it'd be probably a good idea to let a sleeping person stay asleep.
Does the trail seem to continue past this place?
Mm-hmm.
Did he seem to be armed when I looked?
Not that you could see. He's, you know, all you saw really was from the knees down.
Okay.
And he had on, you know, fur boots and just very crude leathery, you know, like deerskin pants or something, but they weren't well made or.
He was armed enough to kill some deer and all these other varmints.
Right.
Yeah, but if he lives up here, he may know something of the layout of this place. Could be a useful source of information, even if he's a bit addlepated.
He's probably crazier than a three-peckered owl. I don't want to be talking to no person like him.
And as you all are talking and arguing, you hear this, and peeking out from behind the flap is the face of a man. It is well lined. He looks about a day older than Christ. He's
So a day younger than me?
yeah. And he's got gray hair, just wild gray hair. His eyes got bright blue eyes, but they're a little bit wonky. There's something about his eyes that looks strange, and he's got a gray beard with a little bit of black in it. And he says, Well, hello there, folks. And he comes out of he comes all the way out of his tent or his lean-to, and he's got a bottle of bourbon in his other hand.
Well, hello there, young fella. My name is Elmer Calhoun. I'm pleased to make your acquaintance.
Etta Mae Calhoun, I'm pleased to meet you too. And he comes up and he just puts his arm around Etta Mae, and he stinks so bad. You can barely stand it. You don't quite have to make a save for his breath weapon, but it is close. And he just embraces you and like you were his long lost mama.
Oh boy.
Say, I noticed your fine tradecraft over here. You wouldn't happen to be interested in buying some wolf pelts, would you?
Well, I don't have any money to speak of, so I'm not interested in buying anything.
Perhaps a barter or a trade, then, perhaps?
Oh, sure. I'm always up for that. What do I have that you might be interested in?
Reverend?
Allow me to introduce myself. I am the Reverend George Wilhoit. I don't believe I caught your name, sir.
Zeke. They call me Zeke.
Zeke? Just Zeke?
Zeke Doncaster.
Zeke Doncaster.
Mm.
He's from the
And he offers
New England
you up
Doncasters?
He offers you up his bottle of whiskey.
Oh, no,
Or
thank
bourbon.
you. I don't take spirits.
And he thinks
Just
that's like
lays
the
them
most
to rest.
hilarious thing he's ever heard, that you don't take spirits, and he is like guffawing. He is pounding his knee. You don't take spirits. Ha ha ha. He thinks it's hilarious. You don't know why, really. He thinks that's so hilarious. So Doncaster's New England. Oh, I don't know. No idea where I come from.
How long you been up here?
Well, it's been at least 40 years. Might be 45. I don't know. What year is it?
1874, year of the Lord.
Reckon it's only been 33 years then.
Zeke, what are you doing on the side of a mountain?
Well, I have a purpose here. I have a purpose on this mountain.
What's your purpose? I want to hear all about it.
I'm here to record the names of the dead.
The names of the dead? Where do you record them from?
I get them from the book.
What book?
The book. And he gets upset a little bit. He don't want to talk about the book anymore. Anyway, you folks want to see my work? And he gets very proudly. He starts holding up some of his wood carvings. These are gravestones. I make these gravestones.
Now, Zeke, you do know these gravestones are made of wood, right?
Oh, but they don't stay wood.
They don't?
No. Everything up there in the graveyard, it turns to stone.
Everything?
Stone.
There's a graveyard on this mountain?
Well, that's where the dead are.
Well, it seems like an awfully far place to drag a body.
Bodies were right here. Wasn't far at all.
Oh.
I see.
How do you know to whom the bodies belong?
I just record the names of the dead.
So are you trying to
On
give
these here plaques and these here gravestones.
So you're trying to give them some kind of rest?
That's all that will put them to rest.
That is a laudable action. Good for you, Zeke. If you want me to say a few words over the dead, I'd be happy to do so.
Did you just say that I was committing a lot of bull?
No, I meant it is praiseworthy what you are doing, Zeke.
Praiseworthy.
You were
Well, you
giving
praising
these
me.
people-
Oh, and he gives you a big hug and you about pass out from the snow.
I back off.
Praise God.
I get behind Kat because I know she's got a string.
This is gonna.
Can you show us this graveyard, Zeke?
Oh, no man can go to the graveyard.
How do you get your tombstones up there then?
You can't go there. You can't go there. I go up there, I have to come right back. You cannot go to the graveyard. I won't have it. You're not going there, and he gets quite agitated. He's flailing his arms around.
All right,
You
all
won't
right.
go there.
Calm
You
down.
will not go to the
Calm down.
graveyard.
Zeke, calm down.
Well,
Preacher just wants to go up and help those poor lost souls on the mountain the same as you do. He just wants to do it with his good book and the Lord.
don't go. I can't let you go. Can't do it. Must not do it.
Don't you care about those poor lost souls?
Don't you ever say, and he starts weeping uncontrollably, that I don't care about it. I have to give my life to putting their souls to rest. They don't need no more preachers up there. You're gonna, and he just keeps going on and on with the tears streaming down his face. And but I can't in good conscience ever let another man or woman go up that mountain. I can't do it.
Why not, Zeke? Why not? What's so bad?
Oh, you don't even know. You don't know. When he gets quiet again, his mood is just all over the place.
We don't. I know we don't know. But
You don't want to know. You don't want to know the horrible things that happen up on that mountain.
That's what the Nez Perce told us too.
Well, maybe they know something then. Maybe they know something important.
They also told us ain't nobody been up here for 90 years, and yet here you are.
I come after they stop coming, I reckon. I never see one engine around here. They know better. It's only now and again some damn white fool comes up here and thinks he's going to go up that mountain. I can't let it happen. And again, he starts getting very upset.
Well, now, Zeke, we got to go up that mountain. The Reverend, he's on a mission. He's got the fire of the Lord in him, and he's going to go up there and lay them to rest. Same as you. And I can't be letting him go up there by himself. He's going to get himself in trouble.
Zeke, where do you get this bourbon if you're up here all alone on the mountain?
Oh, I don't know that you want to know the answer to that.
It's good bourbon. It's in a whiskey bottle, and he hands it to you. He says, "This is good bourbon. You want some?" And he stumbles over and hands it to you.
I'll take a sniff and pass it to Kat.
Kat will take a slug, careful to tip the bottle all the way up so she's drinking from the bottom of the liquid and not whatever may be floating on the top.
You recognize that this is not an alcoholic beverage.
Uh-oh.
It's probably it tastes just like maybe root beer with no sugar in it.
Okay. And I will return the bottle to its rightful owner.
He says, "Well, woman, you drink like a man." He takes another big swig of it.
Kat,
You folks hungry? Can I offer you a meal?
You know, we still have some leftover wolf from this morning. We could probably share with you.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. It's just I just want you to stick around a while.
Why? Because you don't want us to go up the mountain?
That's right. You can't go up that mountain. I don't want you going up that mountain.
I think we got to go up the mountain, Zeke.
No, you can't go up the mountain.
Well, how about you and I, we sit down, and perhaps it appears that your bottle is not as fresh as it could be. I happen to have a jug of medicinal beverage in my bag. Maybe we could just have a wee dram.
Well, I wouldn't turn that down. Here, you sit next to me, and there's like a couple of, there's a log and a couple of stumps there, and he sits down on the log and he pats it like Granny should come sit next to him.
All right. So I will pour a couple of tin cups full of moonshine. Now, bottoms up, Zeke.
Um,
And I'll just do this and not actually drink it.
Make a saving throw.
Okay. Oh, 16. I don't know what for.
Well, you made it.
Okay.
That was just to prevent being nauseous from sitting next to Zeke.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I've seen some shit though. Come on.
yeah, I know you were birthing babies and stuff. I mean,
Exactly.
You're a tough woman. I'm sorry. You and Zeke both had a drink, but you didn't actually take a drink. Is that what
That's
you said?
correct. I'm trying to get Zeke blind drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Since he hasn't had a drink in 33 years, I figure it's going to be easy.
Or at least 32 and a half.
Yeah. However long that bottle ran out.
Okay, so yeah, he takes a drink, but it's hard to tell if Zeke is drunk, at least slightly drunk, because he's kind of.
Oh no, I keep going till.
I love you, people. He's already at that point. Right?
Yeah, I keep going till he's had the better part of my jug of moonshine.
Okay.
My
I'm gonna make a roll for
weaponized
Zeke.
alcohol. Weapon.
This is weapons grade moonshine.
The Reverend stands aside disapprovingly.
Okay.
Meshach's going to sit down on one of the stumps across the way and kind of look his axe over, not touching it. I'm just looking at his axe.
Oh, okay. You're just checking it out, and it looks like a woodsman's axe. It's apparently what it's for. It's not like you don't see a bunch of blood on it or like anything that would indicate that it's prized for a weapon. Although it could be certainly used as one, as any woodsman's axe could. All right, so Zeke is getting pretty drunk, and he stands up and he's stumbling a little bit.
Now, Zeke, you don't look so good. Here, have a cup of this. It'll make you feel better.
I think I'm all right, Missy. Thank you so much. You people are wonderful. You are lovely people.
All right. Well, I sit down and have some. I just have a little bit of wolf to eat while I wait for it to fully hit this guy and for him to pass out.
He doesn't pass out.
What?
He's drunk, but he's not that drunk. He stopped just shy of passing out.
Who had the mallet?
I believe I do.
I'm gonna kind of whisper to Edome that these don't seem to be working. Maybe we can blackjack him across the back of the head.
Well, if you think a pair of cards would be better than your string, I fancy you could try it. Hey, Zeke, come here. Come here and have some wolf.
Yeah, I don't really feel like having anything to eat right now. Thank you, man.
Oh, you wouldn't be so rude as to deny me a bit of hospitality and sit down and eat with me.
He sits
drinking the better part of my moonshine.
He sits down and he takes a piece of wolf and he's kind of like, he can't quite find his mouth with it.
That's okay. He's bent over. He's sitting down. He's kind of a prime.
Yeah, no, and he's like concentrating, trying to get us.
Okay.
I raise an eyebrow at Cat, waiting for the magic.
Yeah, what the heck? I'll try to knock him out. Just knock him unconscious.
Shouldn't be that hard.
No, it shouldn't be that hard. Go ahead and roll
Okay.
to hit.
+3, so that's a 14.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you easily whack him over the back of the head, and yeah, he slumps over. He's asleep. We're unconscious.
All right. Are we going to, well, just leave him here in this state, or?
Drag him back into his bed. You don't want to hit him over the head.
Sure.
Can't just
Yeah.
leave him out here in the snow.
Yeah. Drag him back to his lean-to, and maybe.
It'd clean him up a little bit if we left him out here in the snow.
He ain't want to be cleaned.
I'll cover him up with one of his varmint skins, and then we can.
Let's get up this mountain. We
Is there-
spent enough time playing tourist, shooting wolves, having tea, crazy old boogers.
Is there anything of unusual in the lean-to?
No.
Yeah, it's Zeke. He's plenty unusual.
Besides Zeke, no, there's nothing. There's basically nothing in the lean-to except Zeke, because
Alright.
he's kind of large and the lean-to's kind of small.
Okay.
I guess.
Should borrow his axe.
Oh, I don't know. I think that's his only tool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going to head on up the path then.
All right.
Okay, so as you continue up the path, you get to this area. You see to your right, there's this like gnarled, horrible tree, and then directly in front of you is, I don't know, maybe 100 or 200. It's a graveyard, but they're all. It's not in clean rows and nicely manicured. It's just a graveyard in the snow with these haphazardly placed stone markers.
Do they look like Zeke's markers?
Mm-hmm.
And they're stone now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So they look like they're made of wood and
Rudely
hide,
carved.
but turned into stone.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh. So what are
Don't
the
want to
names?
stay up here too long, Reverend.
No, this is.
You won't be much for dancing.
What do the names say? What is he written? I mean, are they English names? Are they
Yeah,
Spanish
some of-
names? Are they Nez Perce names? What's he writing? What's he written?
The ones you can see right in front of you, and there's sort of a little winding area. I wouldn't even call it a path, where there's no headstones, though, just as there would be if somebody haphazardly started building this. But the ones you can see along the path, they're mostly English names, names like Ebenezer and Marianne and Louise, just with normal family names. You do see the occasional.
I have a cousin named Louise.
You do see the occasional Indian name, and some of these are written in a language that you're not sure what it is, but it appears to that Zeke, carved it in there too.
Mhm.
So
Has he put dates on any of these? Or they're like
none of them are dated.
okay. This
Anything
is
else
mighty
up here
odd.
besides these graves and this weird-looking tree?
Well, what are you gonna do? Do you want to search?
Yeah, I wanna look
I'd like
around.
to wander among the graves just to look and see if there's any pattern
Okay.
in terms of the the naming. Get a sense of if there's any, I'm wondering if Zeke has kind of made all this stuff out of his head, or
Mhm.
whether if there's any evidence for, is he getting this information from somewhere else?
Okay. So you want to just wander amongst the
Yeah.
gravestones and see what you can see. David, what are you doing?
I'm just looking around.
You're going to search? Okay.
Yeah. There's got to be something else on this hill besides just a bunch of stones and a tree.
Yep. So why don't you go ahead and roll?
Was it 1d6? Or
Yeah,
wisdom?
Yeah, do a 1d6 for search, and you can add your wisdom to
All
that.
right. Well, that's okay. I rolled a 6, so that didn't work out for me.
Yeah, so you're searching around and you'll find stuff, but it's going to take you longer. Kat, what are you doing?
Now, you said that the tree looks weird.
Yeah, it's a really gnarled tree.
Is it stone or is it actually still wood?
It's still wood. It's a growing tree.
Oh,
And as you approach it, Kat, you see that there's a hangman's noose, but it's broken at the knot, so the actual noose itself is gone. But there's this old rope just sort of gently swaying in the breeze, and the trees, extremely blackened and gnarled and.
Blackened by fire, blackened? Or...
No, just age and the elements out here. Its bark is really dark and twisted.
Is the rope appear to be structurally not
It's dicey.
usable anymore?
It's dicey. It looks a little frayed, and as I said, like the actual noose part is either broken or rotted off.
Okay, so the rest of the rope also looks unsalvageable.
Yeah, I mean you could further inspect it, but probably it is.
Okay. And so, but clearly no one's been using the rope as a noose in some time, but it's been recent enough that there's still rope there. Okay.
And as you are looking around, it seems like this tree, it's almost as if it shrugged. You hear this sort of cracking. It's really almost imperceptible, but there's some movement, and there seems to be a slight, almost like a bodily movement to this tree, and then it relaxes. When you look back behind you, you're not really even sure if you even saw that for sure.
I want to get my dagger and carve my initials into the tree.
Okay.
With a nice big heart around it.
Shooting wolves, poking weird trees.
So you're about
Follow
to
Cat over and watch.
you take your dagger and you start scraping this C. I guess in your we see. I don't know which way the camera's going. And the sap starts oozing out, which is odd for such an old tree. And actually, it's red, and it's blood. You can tell by looking at it. This is blood. The tree is bleeding.
Okay. Then I call the good Reverend and Etta May over here to get an eyeball on this, and given her previous skeptical nature, she's searching her mind for a rational explanation for what that could be.
Fair enough.
You looking for a rational explanation why you be poking everything on the mountain? I don't have one for that. It's a bleeding tree.
That is unnatural.
Yeah, I think the Reverend and I will probably agree that it's the devil's work.
Read some scripture over this place.
Okay.
And the Reverend proceeds to read some edifying verse and cast out any evil spirits that might be here. Actually, I'm going to sprinkle a bit of holy water on the tree as well. Just a sort of, little splash.
Should be interesting.
The tree actually, where a few drops or however many drops of holy water hit it, it actually retreats. You see the bark and the sort of gnarled bark sort of turn inward on itself. And the area that was bleeding where the holy water drips on that, the blood actually sizzles with the holy water.
I sense the presence of the demon.
I'm going to say kill it with fire.
Well, it's green wood. It ain't gonna burn. And there's every other wood up here is stone now.
The Reverend backs well away from the tree, especially does not want to be within reach of any of its limbs.
I think in this case we might want to leave well enough alone. Maybe you could just leave the sea.
There you
Perhaps
go.
not right with your name.
It's like a half moon at this point, I think.
It's a sad face for a sad.
I've never seen a tree bleed like that before.
Nor have I. And I've seen some things.
That you have.
This place is accursed.
Does the path continue?
Yeah, you're still in the graveyard. I presume you all back away from the tree, and
yeah.
is everyone in agreement that they're just going to let sleeping trees lie?
This cat wants to try and burn a green tree with no wood.
Well,
Or garrote it.
yeah.
Did you have your string?
No, I can't imagine that I could get the garrote all the way around the tree. So I'm going to, if nobody else wants to try to burn it, I'll leave well enough alone.
It's a good idea. I just don't see how we can accomplish it.
Is there any? The Reverend is going to circumnavigate the tree, circumambulate the tree. At a wide radius. Is there any openings or I'm thinking I have this Sleepy Hollow vision, like a hole near the roots or something like that.
No, you kind of stumble around in the snow since it's kind of on a bank, but you go all the way around it at 10, 15 feet outside of its limb line, and no, there's nothing there. It's just growing like a normal tree. But okay, so and Reverend Wilhoit, you were the one searching around, looking at all of the at the gravestones.
Yeah, sort of reading the names and trying to get a sense of what's going on.
There doesn't seem to be anything particularly like a pattern or a particular name that repeats and repeats, other than the common names of the time, Mary. And
so no repeated names. He's not.
No, it's not like he's using. It just seems legit. I mean, you can't be sure, but there's nothing that pops out at you that says, "Oh God, this is weird," or "This, that explains it."
And the gravestones. I mean, the gravestones. Is there evidence that bodies have been recently buried here, or is it just like it's a field with gravestones in it?
It's a field with gravestones in it.
I don't even know if there are real bodies here. Maybe old crazy Zeke is just putting in gravestones.
It could be. You can't tell that there's actual grave sites there, and there's.
Of course, we'd have to dig one up to be sure.
I've been doing no digging near the bleeding tree.
Okay, so you don't find anything. Meshach, what are you up to?
I'm mostly watching Kat. She's caught my interest,
Uh-oh. She is a beautiful woman.
She's the one that's found the bleeding tree. So, yeah.
So, Reverend, as you're looking at all of these, you come over a little bit of a rise, and you can't see that all the way down the path there is a cabin down there. But before you can turn your attention to the cabin, you do see something like a mound in the snow, and there appears to be like a human form and a boot sticking out.
It's in the snow?
Mm-hmm. But it's off, sort of within the gravestones. You see what looks like under the snow a human form with a boot sticking out.
I wave the other folks over. I say, I think I found something over here, and I move over cautiously to within about 5 feet of the boot.
Okay.
And
doesn't move. Or...
Is
anything.
there if the boot is attached to a leg? I'll reach out I'll reach out gingerly and actually I'll gently loop a couple of coils of whip around the boot and then give it a little gentle tug.
Or I'll poke it with a stick if there's one around.
There's only rocks, right?
Yeah, there's no sticks.
And does someone have a staff or a pole? We had a pickaxe. What?
I think we forgot the 10-foot pole, guys. Did anybody? We should have switched out the 10-foot pole, by the way.
Right.
Whatever.
You can poke it with something. What? Do you find something?
I'll poke it with my hatchet.
Okay.
Now we've got a crowbar, we've got torches, we got
Nothing to
minor
hatchet.
stick. You know, there's
There's stuff to poke with. There's
Torch.
poking implements.
Yeah.
a
Okay.
torch word.
Okay.
So you guys poke, I'll pull. We'll see what happens.
When you pull the snow on top, you know how snow will kind of develop little crevasses and kind of, compact and fall to the side. It does that, and underneath you see some cloth, and you've pulled out the leg, and above the boot, it's a naked leg. At least the few feet of it that you've got, most of the leg out.
With
And
the
this,
flesh still on it?
uh-huh.
Oh.
So yeah, you could easily like wipe the snow off.
Yeah, I'll
if you
just
wanted
dust
to
it off with
approach.
the coiled whip. I'll just sort of,
Yeah.
switch back and forth and brush
Yeah,
it.
it appears to be someone who has not been dead for a long time. It's hard to tell because it's freezing up here. But the fabric and the skin is still intact. So yeah,
Male, female?
it's a man. It's probably in his maybe 30s, although it's difficult to tell. Maybe a little younger than that even. Of average athletic build. The blonde hair.
Is the body itself frozen, like icy frozen, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's. I don't know if you want to say icy. He's not a popsicle, but it's definitely frozen.
And still clothed, right? Still
Just in the nightshirt
a nightshirt and boots.
and boots. The boots aren't completely laced.
And we tell what killed the poor sap.
You probably could if you rolled me a bushcraft roll. Anybody having?
Well, what about with my medical background in the mountains? Maybe I could roll an intelligence check?
Yeah.
All right.
Bushcraft would probably be more likely, but we can try that too.
Well, I
since
rolled a
nobody else
5, so with my 17 intelligence, I should have a good clue.
Okay. He froze to death. When you look the body over, there's no either that or he just died of some immediate natural cause because the body has no marks on it. It isn't trauma. There's no sign that he had any withering disease. He looked fit. It just appears that he froze to death.
Are there any
Looks like he
pockets?
froze to death because he was running around naked on the mountain.
Are there any pockets on the nightshirt?
No.
Okay.
Scuff the snow around, or there's no sign of any possessions or anything like that.
No.
Someone dragged him here, I suspect.
You think so? You don't think he just ran out here drunk, stupid, or wild?
Could be, but why would he lie down in the middle of a graveyard?
Maybe he tripped. Maybe someone was chasing him. Why don't we go over to the cabin and see?
I want to check his boots right quick, if I may.
Sure. What are you checking them for?
I don't know, gold, weapon.
Oh yeah,
Pull his
people hide
boots
things
You're
in
searching
boots.
his boots? Okay. Yeah. No, there's nothing in his boots but his feet.
Okay.
Are they better boots than Cat has?
No.
Are they better boots than I have?
Now, let's just put it this way. They don't fit anybody in the party. Not even close. I don't know why, but they don't, so don't ask.
All right.
his
Yeah.
particularly small feet.
That's right. Your petite feet.
Well, I reckon this poor wretch deserves a Christian burial, but I don't think this is a Christian place to bury him in.
Well, he's not gonna get any worse for wear if we just leave him here.
That's right. I will say a few words very briefly, 10 seconds, and then let's see. Perhaps he was the one living in this shack over there, and I point toward the cabin.
It could be.
Okay.
Go check it
So
out.
what do you guys gonna go check out the cabin?
Investigate.
Okay.
Are
As
there
you,
any
as you
footprints from this guy, like, or anything like that?
Oh yeah, is there a trail through the snow toward his?
there isn't a trail really. If you look very closely, now that you've seen the body, you can see what with the wind and the number of days or however long. You can't really see footprints, but you can see a little indentations. Which now that you know that there's a dead body there, if you scope it out, you can say, "Oh, look, that's probably where he walked from the
Okay.
cabin."
Can we
But-
follow them back?
You can. They just head back to the path and up to the cabin. You can already see, but so you don't have to do any skills to do that. But yeah. So as you're headed back to the cabin, this is kind of a windy path through all of these, and as you come around these winds, you begin to hear this noise, and it's an almost indescribable and it's an almost imperceptible noise. It's almost like the noise of when you were young and the school marm was drawing in the blackboard with chalk and it hit a little hard piece of chalk. That's like, it sets your teeth on edge and it makes you uncomfortable, but you almost can't hear it. And everybody hears it the same. I mean, it's not, it's real and you all are experiencing it, but it's really, really faint.
Can we get a sense of the direction that it's coming from?
It's hard. It's so faint and it's so like hard to put your finger on what kind of a sound it is. But you, as you walk towards the cabin, it does seem to get a little bit lower. Then again, you keep walking, it gets
But
a little
not louder.
higher.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean louder and softer. So it's kind of wavering in and out. As you walk down the path to the cabin.
Maybe we should spread out and see if we can get a bearing on this noise.
Annoying
Sounds
noise.
like a good idea.
I want to check to make sure that my pistol is reloaded.
Well,
Oh yeah.
Well done. Kat, do you have a bandolier? Character with a bandolier? I can't remember.
I have
I don't.
48 ammo, but it doesn't specifically say.
Yeah, no, it was Bell, I think, who had the bandolier. The reason I ask is because that affects your loading time, but I think you don't have one, so sorry I brought it up.
Okay.
That wasn't actually very nice. Hey, do you have this groovy thing that will help you? No. Oh, well, that's too darn bad.
Story of
That's
my
all I
life.
Okay, so what are you guys doing? You headed for the cabin? You're going to spread out and search?
We're gonna spread out and try and figure out.
Yeah, we could still maybe inch our way toward the cabin, but
Yeah.
by spreading out, yeah, I think that's a good idea to kind of triangulate, see where the sound
See if
is louder.
it sounds louder in any direction, or if it sounds like.
Okay.
While maintaining visual contact with at least one other person.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is it. The lay of the land here is that you've got this cabin. I don't know how to do this, but if you can see, you've got this cabin, and it's sort of down here, and you're up here at the graveyard, and it's a little bit slopey and stuff. But really, you're almost in line of sight unless you go all the way down to the cabin, which is in just a little bit of a holler, and then the hills drop off around that side of the cabin. But up here, you're a little, I won't say a plateau, it's not that dramatic, but you won't lose sight of each other that easily.
Okay.
The cabin, does it look decrepit? Like it's been
I will
100?
show you a picture of what the cabin looks like.
Can't be too decrepit. It's probably made of stone.
I'm almost surprised the body wasn't stoned.
Well, if we can still see footprints, it's only been a couple of days, right? Maybe even hours.
But if he was frozen I mean, I don't know how long it takes. I'm cat CSI over here, but
Okay, I'm going to screen share what the cabin looks like. Um, that's the cabin you see.
Well,
Okay.
And as
there's
you
an
can,
axe out front too.
yeah, you can see that it's kind of down in a little holler.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
It's creepy.
it's kind of creepy.
And you're still screen sharing, by the way.
Oops. Was that fun?
It's
Actually, I think on a broadcast hangout I can present. I keep forgetting about that feature. I'll do that next time. Okay, so tell me who's in what part. So again, let's say that the cabin is south. It's a little bit catty corner, but just for purposes of figuring out how the search goes. The cabin is south, and the hanging tree is all the way north. How are you guys
we're gonna
searching?
spread out and then make our way south.
Okay, so who is walking on the most eastern trajectory towards the cabin?
Meshach.
Okay, so for you, Meshach, as you start walking from the hanging tree down toward the cabin, and it's a little bit windy, it's not really a straight shot, but you certainly hear that sound most loudly just maybe 20 paces from the hanging tree. And as you continue on, you do notice that it's getting a little more faint.
Okay, I'll bring that to the attention of the Reverend and Eddie.
All right. Well, we should
Meshach's
probably pull in.
got a bead on this sound here.
All right. So we'll go to that area around 20 paces where he is. We'll still be fairly spread out, but not like just in the area that he noticed.
Okay.
Is there a specific gravestone or marker that seems to be the main source of it?
You can't tell. Again, it's a pretty faint sound, but as you're walking, if you want to do an actual search check.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll all search.
Yeah. Sounds like that.
Oh, I got a 1 this time.
I had no luck.
Okay. Well, as long as one of you does, we'll just say that everybody goes around sort of putting their ear to the gravestones to see if that's the source, and it does not seem to be coming from one of the gravestones.
Poke around in the snow. Is it coming from anywhere?
Can someone? Why doesn't everyone make a bushcraft check?
Bushcraft, okay. Where are we here?
Alright.
6, that's not good.
oh, I got a 1.
Sweet. That's
So,
good.
Kat, you're over there in the area that Meshach sort of said he heard it the most, and the all sort of confirmed that as you walk up there, and you're poking in the snow, and you're walking along, and your boot sinks in about 3 feet. You kind of whoa, and you realize that you're standing on something that isn't snow, and you poke around in there, and you do see that there's a metal grate, and as soon as you dust some of the snow off that, in fact, as soon as your boot goes through, it definitely, the sound gets louder, and it's
Okay.
it's really annoying. The sound, it's screeching, and it's just it's more than annoying. It's nerve-wracking.
Okay. Then I call everybody over to say, hey, I think I found the source of that weird sound.
Is that your boot down in there?
I sure hope not.
No, you could easily stand back up. It's just, because the snow is soft all around.
How big is this metal grate?
It's about Mm, 3.5 feet square.
Can we pry it up?
Ooh.
We have a crowbar.
You can try.
Is it rusty?
No, not particularly. I mean, it's in good condition. It's not frail, and it's not rusted shut or anything.
And it's not hinged or latched or anything, as far as it just looks like a solid grate.
Yep. It doesn't have a handle or hinges on one side or anything.
Okay. I've got 50 feet of rope.
I've got a crowbar.
Okay, let's get the grate up first before we.
Right. Well, but I'm thinking tie the rope to it.
To give yourself leverage to.
Right, and trying to pull it up while someone's trying to crowbar it.
Yeah. And also to make sure it doesn't fall into the hole. If
that's kind of what I was.
That's smart.
Yeah.
If there's something.
I guess I'll get on one side with the crowbar, and if we attach the rope on the same side, you can try pulling across. So it would help lever it up.
That makes sense. That should make it easier. I'll grab onto part of the rope.
Yeah, I'll help tug on the rope too. Mishak is strong; he can handle the crowbar.
I have 9 strength.
How big across is the grate?
About 3.5 feet.
3.5 feet.
A meter, a little more than a meter.
And so, are we talking like 1 inch thick, 2 inches thick?
Yeah, it's a really, really sturdy grate. It's probably it might weigh like 50 pounds.
But it's not going to pull us down with it if we get it loose.
If you, it could apparently, at least theoretically, if you got it catty corner and it fell down the grate, if you didn't let go of the rope, it might pull you in. You're on snow, you'd be pretty slippery. So
Okay.
it's not entirely without danger, although conditions would have to be just right for that to happen.
Okay.
And there's 3 of us holding the rope. Like, that's unlikely.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You would probably let go before it actually dragged you down the.
Okay. Oh.
Or you could tie an end around a gravestone or something.
Yeah.
I'd suggest a tree, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go ahead and tie it around the tree and see what happens.
Maybe Cat wants to tie it around the tree.
Yeah. I think I have alienated the tree and.
Yes.
All right, so I guess we'll try to roll to dislodge the grate from its resting place here.
Okay.
I would think we'd get a significant bonus.
Yeah, there's 3 of you.
And I'm prying on the other side, so.
All right. So why don't, Mishak, why don't you roll? Hang on, let me take a look here. Why don't you roll? Why don't we just make a strength check? And you have to roll. I don't know how to do this the best way. I want to make sure that you get a good beat on it to pry it up, and then I think we'll hand wave the guys to use the rope to pull it off. Let's just have you do it to hit. Just roll like you're attacking, and that's a D20.
Okay. Okay. I got a 12, and
Your attack bonus for melee.
attack bonus for melee is a 3.
15 is you managed to get down in there and with your little dwarven arms as big around as tree trunks, you pry that thing up you get it up a couple of inches off the edge. And guys, and the rest of you are all going to
We begin tugging on the rope.
Okay. Alrighty, so you drag it across the snow. It kind of makes a path in the snow when it sledges across, right? And
is the ground level here or is it sloped?
no, you guys, those of you who had the rope, you were down the slope a little bit, and
Okay.
the grate sort of slid towards you, but not in
Okay.
any dangerous way. So
Right.
there's a little bit of a path now back up to the edge where Meshach is standing above it. Right, he was
Okay.
on the other side prying it up.
Don't fall in, Meshach. We need you up here.
Tim should not fall in. So, I'm going to look again, though, and see how far I can see.
You're going to look in it.
Yeah, look.
It's dark. You can see about 5 feet down with just the natural light that's here, but you'd have to light a torch or a lantern or something to see what's past the first few feet.
Okay. Are we already? What time of day are we at now?
Oh yeah. The Reverend does a time check on his fob watch.
Yes, and he sees that it is 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay. And so it's just a shaft going straight down. There's no.
From what you can see, the first few feet, that's what it appears to be.
Okay.
Go ahead and light a torch and shine it down in there.
Or I've got the lantern. Is the lantern like a spotlight lantern? Or
no, the lantern is like a sort of a kerosene lamp you might be familiar with the bow handle like that. It's got a globe and another globe, and then it's covered with, it has a metal grate around it. So it's omnidirectional.
We could lower a lantern with the rope.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. See how deep the.
Once you get a lamp over it, you can see that you don't really need to lower it down very far, no more than a man's arm, to see that there is something obstructing the shaft about 10 feet down, and the shaft is a little bit curved. And about 10 feet in, you can see that there's something there. It looks a little bit shiny or a little bit liquid. You know what I mean? It has a little bit of a sheen to it, but you can't tell what it is.
I'll make a little snowball and drop it in beside the lantern.
Okay. And when the snowball hits that, it just breaks apart as a snowball would, and then it slowly just sort of gets absorbed into whatever that is down there.
And so it's silvery, but we can't. It's solid though. Whatever it is, it's not like.
It's like sort of looks semi-transparent, but you can't tell whether, from where you are, if it's squishy or solid. All you can see is that the snowball actually became absorbed into it. Now, whether it's sponge-like or wood-like or whatever, but it certainly appears to be viscous in some way, at least the surface of it.
If we want to know more,
my nails drop down in it.
What's that, Meshach?
Take one of the nails I've got and drop down on it.
Okay. So once the nail hits it, it lays there for a moment. It doesn't go straight in. It just drops to the side, and slowly it kind of is subsumed by it. It disappears into the surface, and you can see it for a little while because it's sort of semi-transparent, but eventually it disappears. It's apparently being absorbed further.
I don't know that I want to go down there and poke it, that's for sure.
Yeah, so it's not as if the nail is dissolving, it's being absorbed.
Yeah, because you can see it whole, making its way down for just a couple of feet, and then you lose it. You can't see it anymore. The other thing is, when you dropped that snowball, the sound increased, and it got louder, but just imperceptibly. When you dropped the nail, it was even more so. And it's pretty loud at this point. It's about the same volume as like somebody playing a fiddle in your ear.
Okay.
Thanks. This is truly unnatural.
Okay. Do we think that I could get that rotten rope off the tree without, like, getting killed or strangled or whatever by the Because what I'm thinking is
I can't tell you if you think that.
No. I'm asking the party.
Oh, okay.
That I'm thinking, get that rotten rope. I've got matches. Light it on fire and drop it down and see if that whatever it is reacts to that.
How old are you, Cat?
22.
And it shows.
How did you make it that far?
I'd rather be lucky than smart.
Oh my God.
You know,
Ray.
cats have 9 lives, so yeah.
Oh,
Which one is she on?
It might be number 9. I don't know.
Well, her intelligence is 9. I can tell you that.
I think that's a bad idea. Why don't we go see the cabin?
All right.
We can always come back.
Question is, do we put the grate on again, or do we leave it off? Is the grate keeping something out or keeping something in?
Yes.
It's a very good question.
I think we leave it off for now.
All right,
Because if it can suck up a nail, it can squeeze through the grate.
that's true.
That's true, too.
I just don't want some ectoplasmic horror coming after me.
An ecto what?
One of the signs of the revelation.
Mhm.
No, it's not. Just kidding.
The Reverend just went off book. Things are getting interesting.
Oh my gosh.
Got some apocrypha in there. All right, let's. I think checking out the shack for more information is probably a good idea.
Okay. So you're gonna head up to the cabin.
Yep.
Give me just a moment. I'm returning to my notes on the cabin.
Sounds sweet, guys.
Yeah, so you guys took a little bit of a detour, but I love it. I love it. So when you look toward the cabin, it's like that picture I sent you. I'll tell you a few of the details around that. It might be a little bigger than the picture, but there's a chimney. The roof is covered with snow at this time of year, and it appears to be made from stone. There are windows that you can see from where you're at. They're like cross-mullioned windows, old-fashioned windows. On one side of the cabin, it's probably about maybe 10 feet away, there's a well, also stone, and it is, what do you call that thing? It still has its mechanism in place to bring water up. You see that's there, the crank. You don't know if it works or not. So that's kind of what you see when you come down the path to the cabin.
Now, you just said that the cabin looks like it's made out of stone, but the image that we saw, it looked wood. So it's the wood.
It looks.
It's like stone wood.
Yeah, it looks like somebody carved stone to look like wood, but you probably know better at this point.
Okay.
Guys, I'm going to have to put you on hold for 1 moment. Talk amongst yourselves about how you will approach the cabin. I'm going to take a quick bio break. I'll be right back.
Now that's interesting. I wonder if the axe handle is found too.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing.
And the stump that the axe was stuck in, if it's turned to stone.
Yep. That would
make it hard to get the axe head out, I'm sure.
I'm thinking that. They also make it heavy to carry around.
Yeah.
That's the main reason I didn't grab it.
I wonder if it'd be small enough to fit down that manhole. Roll it over there and drop it down the hole.
Well, you could try it. Yeah, because it's about a meter square. The stump didn't look that big.
No.
Unless the stump is like rooted in spot
Right.
and not
That,
just.
that would bite.
I am back. So sorry about that.
No problem.
No problem.
We're wondering if the stump beside the cabin with the axe in it,
Mm-hmm.
if it's also stone and
Yep.
if
It's all stone.
is it
Except for the
rooted?
middle, except
is
for
it
the middle
sitting?
gray. Oh
Yeah.
wait, the stump you mean?
Yeah.
The stump is no, it's stone. It's not rooted. It's a stump that somebody sat there to cut wood on,
Okay.
but it's turned to stone.
Can we pry the axe out of it?
You can. The handle is stone, but the blade is still metal, so you can.
All right. I'll pull it out.
Make a strength check. Etta May might not be the best person to try pulling that out.
So what do I need to do? Roll under my strength?
Oh, exactly. What do you need to do? I'm so used to other rules. Let's see. What you will need to do is... Wow, slow computer. Yeah, I think it would be a...
Because I rolled an 8, so...
Well, no, roll me a d6, because I think what you're going to do is an open doors.
Open doors?
Open
Okay.
doors with your strength modifier.
No, I rolled a 2.
Yeah, maybe you can get one of these big strong fellers to come.
Yeah, I've got 17, so roll a d6. Yeah, that still doesn't do it.
Well, I'll attempt it. I rolled a 1 also.
You rolled a what?
1.
All right.
Oh, that does it.
No, you want to roll under, so that's great.
Okay.
So, yeah, you heave and hoe, and you pull the stone-handled axe out of the stone that it's in, like a Western King Arthur with Excalibur, and the handle sort of crumbles, but
Good.
the blade is in one piece. It's metal. It's a little bit rusted, but it's there.
I'll take the axe blade and put it in my gear. I'm going to wrap it so it don't cut my pack up.
Okay.
Strange stumps distributing wood-cutting implements is no way to establish a government.
All hail King Meshach.
Yes, you are now king of absolutely.
Bitterroot
All right.
Valley.
So can we shove, like as a group, can we shove this on its side and roll it up to where the hole is?
That stone stump?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sure, if you want to.
How old are you, Etta May?
It would take you quite a bit of time because it's uphill, and then you have to make sure as you roll it sort of downhill.
Yeah.
You'd have to hit it just right. You'd have to perhaps take a few swings at it, but you can do it. I mean, it's physically possible.
It seems like a bad idea and a lot of time.
Yeah, it would
Okay.
be really time consuming.
Okay.
So as you're standing by the stump, let's say, if you walk around to, how do I want to say this? So you're standing by the stump, the cabin is to your left, well, sort of. The cabin's to your left, the well is to your right. You can't see the well in that picture. And so the stump is out back. There is a door there. There's also a front door that was right at the end of the path as you walked up I walked up the path, down the path, to the front door of the hall of the cabin. So either one.
I guess go the back door.
Yeah.
Well, I take it the cabin looks uninhabited, I take it. Has that already been established?
It has not. And by the way, you see footsteps as you walk up to the back door, you see those same, the same footprints coming down the back door and headed out from the cabin towards the graveyard.
So you came out the back door.
If it was the same guy.
Well, it's probably not locked then.
Go ahead and knock on the door just for nicety.
Still polite. Wild mountain man.
So you don't hear anything.
Okay, see if the door is unlocked.
It is unlocked.
Go ahead and open the door.
Okay. Do you walk over the threshold?
I'm sure it's going to creak.
You start to hear piano music.
Okay, that's interesting.
You're
Do we
the only
hear
one who
piano
hears
music?
it. No,
Oh, okay.
no, only Meshach so far.
Is
I'll step in too then.
Is the shack, is it turned to stone?
Yes.
Okay.
And
Where
did
do we
you?
go through?
You might. Yeah, it is. You didn't spend a lot of time looking closely at the outside. You might want to do that later, but I'll give you that little clue. As soon as you step in, you hear this piano music.
Okay, step back out again.
Yeah, and it goes off.
That's weird.
And it still keeps playing.
Why are you go in or stay out, Edame? What are you doing?
Well, there's some weird music inside of there.
I don't hear nothing.
I'm hearing the piano play.
What? I hear nothing.
You step in, you'll hear it.
Y'all gone off your rockers.
Maybe.
I'll step inside, and when I hear the piano music, I immediately try and figure out what is it? What kind of music is it? Is it Chopin? Is it folk tunes? Is it what are we hearing?
What's your intelligence?
Not my strong suit. 11.
Not bad. You don't need to have any great book learning to understand that this is sort of honky-tonk music.
Okay.
You know, what you hear played in the saloon.
All right.
I'm going to look in the windows.
Look in the windows?
Yeah, I'm outside again. I'm going to look in the windows.
Oh, you went back out. Okay.
Yeah, because I wanted to see if I still heard the music.
Right. I didn't know if you were going back and forth. So, okay. So,
And I'm going to look around the room.
okay, well, we'll deal with David first. So, David, make a search check.
Oh boy, not so good with the search checks.
I know.
Oh, I rolled a 1.
Yay. Okay. So as you're stepping around the edges of the cabin, looking in the windows, you notice that the texture that's on the exterior of the cabin is actually tiny, tiny language. Like it looks like script, but it's hard to read.
Is it hard to read because it's in a different language, or is it hard to read because
it's teeny tiny?
Yeah.
Both.
Are the characters Roman characters, or is it something?
They look to be almost, I mean, you guys wouldn't have any knowledge of this, but for the player benefit, they look almost Cyrillic, like it's Russian. Like some of the characters look familiar, but some of them just look like backwards letters, and then some of them, but it isn't Cyrillic, but it's that kind of a look, of
Okay.
not quite cuneiform, but just all
wrong.
kinds of weird stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not written in
Nothing
Spanish.
recognizable. Not in Spanish, not in Latin.
My character apparently speaks Spanish, so
Yes, yeah, that's from all that time hiding out in Mexico.
there you go.
No, it's not in Spanish. It's not in any language that is apparent to any of you.
Okay.
And so there's that, and then also, let's see, where are you at the cabin? You were at the back door. So the first window, did you go to the right or the left when you went to look around?
The left, I guess.
You go around quite a bit. There's no window on the same side as the back door, and then about a third of the way down, the wall is You see a window, and you look in there, and it's a kitchen. Pretty rudimentary, but not nearly as bad as the outside of the cabin looks. The inside of the cabin is somewhat nicer than the outside. The outside looks quite rough and tumble and weighted down with snow. The inside looks livable. In the kitchen, there's you can see that there's some pantries. You can see a couple of doors leading out of it, and you think to the left there's also like an opening in the wall where they would have handed food through or something, but you can't quite tell what that is. There are no other windows on that side of the building.
All right, I'll keep going around while you describe where they are.
Okay. You come to the other side of the building, and you've got you can see where the fireplace chimney juts out.
Right.
On this side of it, on the side that you first approach, there's a window there as well. It's really small. When you look through the windows, it's kind of hard to see because the light is not penetrating this room with only the tiny windows. And the windows themselves are bubble glass. You know, they're obviously hand-blown, ancient kind of windows that not a nice, smooth, clear window that we would have today. On the other side, so you don't see a lot. You can tell there's a room in there and some furniture, but you really can't make much out. You can't see much. And just on the other side of the fireplace, there's an identical window, tall and skinny, but can't see very much through there.
Okay. Well, I'll just go around then and follow them into the cabin through the back door.
Okay. So as you go around, you realize that you right in front of you is some steps, and as you walk down that, you walk up a few steps, and there is a porch that runs the length of the cabin on that side, and you see that there's a door to your right, that goes into that room that you were just trying to look into, and then a couple more windows as you walk down. And then at the end of the porch, you have to sort of hop off to get back down to the back door.
Okay, well, like I said, I'll just go to the back door. I don't want to...
Okay. Yeah, no, that's what you see.
Where everybody is. Okay, cool.
So, Mishak, you went in and you were about to search. So what you see when you walk in the door, you hear the piano music. There's a door to your right and a door to your left almost immediately. And then in front of you, without a door or anything, that just opens up into the kitchen. It's got a little bit of natural light in there, but not a lot at this time of day. But it's just a normal kitchen. It's got a basin, it's got counters, it's got an old wood stove. It's a fairly rudimentary but usable kitchen. And then that's what you can see from where you're standing at the back door. So tell me where you want to go.
I'll check the door to the right.
When you open the door to the right, the music gets substantially louder. There's a chair, and there's a player piano with a piano bench in front of it, and the piano is playing. I mean, it is not playing. You can hear it playing, but there's nothing happening. It doesn't appear to actually be mechanically playing.
So it's not a player piano.
No, she said
It might be a player piano, but it's not playing now. You're not sure if it is or not. Actually, you'd have to go look inside to see if there was a player piano mechanism.
I'm considering it.
Huh?
I'm considering looking in the. I am considering looking in the piano via using my X on it.
That's an option if you want to take that. The other thing you see in this room is a chair. You do see there's enough light in this room due to the window there to actually be able to make out the fact too that there is a a painting on the wall.
Okay.
So when you go over there and you take a look at that painting, you see yourself. It's a painting of you with your current gear on and everything. And you're not here, though. When you see yourself in that painting, you are standing before an altar. Let me make sure I read this to you. With a tall gray skeleton looming over it, with an open door leading into a dark tunnel behind it. It looks sort of like the style is sort of like a turn-of-the-century realism. In other words, it looks like it was painted maybe 100 years ago. And that's the style of the painting, including your figure there.
Is it just him?
It's just him.
Mm.
I want to make sure I'm describing. What's that?
I'm going to go ahead and call the Reverend in and ask him to look and see what he sees in that painting.
Okay.
Meshach, are you playing the piano in there?
No, it's in here, but there's also a painting I'd like you to look at and tell me what you think about it.
Good God, Meshach, the piano is playing on its own.
I don't know what it's doing, but you need to come on in here.
So I'll go in, and first I'm, of course, obsessed by the piano, and is there a piano bench at which you would sit at?
Mm-hmm.
I wave my whip over the piano bench to see if there's some invisible figure there playing the piano.
Nice.
Nope.
No?
And you don't read any resistance. There doesn't appear to be anything invisible on the bench.
And the keys aren't moving on the piano either.
The keys aren't moving.
Nope.
I put my ear up to the piano to see, is the sound coming from inside the piano?
You can't tell. It doesn't get any louder, but it doesn't get any softer.
This is strange.
So it's this picture over here. Take a look.
What? Meshach.
Okay, when you look at the picture,
Yes.
what you see is yourself and Meshach
Okay.
standing before this altar with the gray looming skeleton behind it.
That's not messed up at all.
No.
I immediately pull out the Bible and begin reading verses that are designed to keep demons away, keep the devil away.
Okay, I think of his flavor, the Reverend is always going to be doing this sort of thing. When you're actually casting a spell, make sure you let me know. Okay. So
I told you this picture was interesting.
There's
if I
some.
walk off, does he see me disappear out of the picture?
It's both of us right now.
Yeah, I'm going to move away from the...
Oh, okay. Oh, good idea.
no, actually, Meshach only sees himself in it.
Oh,
Okay.
I say, Meshach, this is some illusionist trick, perhaps.
I only see me in it, and the Reverend sees both of us in it.
That's right. I mean, that's a little meta. You guys haven't really discussed that, but we'll waive that. That you figure out that you see yourself and he sees himself and you.
And when if I move around, the painting doesn't respond. If I take off my hat, and the painting is sort of just me as I was when I entered the room, or something, or.
Yeah.
Huh.
The stove in the kitchen, is it warm? Has it been used recently?
Did you go in, Kat?
Well, I am now, yeah.
Okay, so you're just entering now. Sorry, it
Yeah.
actually is pertinent, but hang on one sec. No, it's not warm. There's
Okay.
nothing burning in the stove, or hasn't been long enough that, however that would take a couple of days for a wood stove to cool down. It's cold.
Okay, and the cabin doesn't feel like it's been heated in any way.
No, in fact, it is friggin'. It might be colder in here than it is outside. It is really, really cold.
Okay.
Has the piano turned to stone?
No.
Okay. It's a wooden piano.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Question.
That is an excellent question.
The Reverend tries to take the painting down from the wall. Meshach, help me out here. Let's get this darn thing off the wall.
Okay.
All right. There's whole rules about taking the painting off the wall. So bear with me while I look them up because I cannot
that's
keep
good
it
to know.
straight. Oh my God.
Ethel, can you let me know when I show up?
You're at the back door. Anytime you want to go in, you
Well,
can.
I wanted to follow them in immediately. I just.
Okay.
But I've been walking around the outside.
Let's say that you and Kat both show up at the same time,
Okay.
And you both go in. So, and you can tell me while I'm looking up these rules what happens with where you want to go when you go in.
No, I want to go where the main group is.
Okay. Well, Kat's in the kitchen and Reverend and Meshach are in the sitting room. So.
Well, I already saw the kitchen, so I'll go into the sitting room.
Okay. Have you guys taken the painting off the wall yet? I would say no because we kind of left David hanging there.
Right.
So what you see is
in
this.
the room when the fireball goes off.
What you see, David, is the piano, the player piano with the bench and a chair sitting there. And then when you look at...
Guessing that
I'm sorry, Keith, say again?
Meshach and Meshach and the Reverend discussing this painting.
Yeah. And when you look at the painting, David, you see everybody in the party in there. Standing at an altar with a looming gray skeleton.
What do you see when you look at this painting?
Tarnation, I see all fours of us.
What?
We're in the painting. How are we in the painting?
I only see myself in there.
Are you sure?
I only see Misha and myself.
You only see the two. I will. Maybe if Meshach walks out and then walks back in again, it'll change.
Okay, I'll try that. I'll go outside and then back in and see.
Does it change at all while we're watching?
Nope.
I think there's some mirrors or something like behind this. Let's take it down and find out.
I don't know if you want to touch that. That's some of the old magic there. You don't want to be playing around with the old magic, Reverend. That's the other side of the coin. That's the other side of the coin. You want to stay on your side of the coin.
When you look back at the painting, I'll say, Reverend, when you were in the painting, you were like drinking from a fancy goblet with a beam of light shining down on you.
Blasphemy.
Maybe it's the Holy Grail.
Okay. So, Kat, what are you up to? You still in the kitchen?
Yeah. What else do I see in the kitchen?
Not much. The kitchen is pretty workaday. There's an opening into the front room where people could hand food through just off to the left. So you can see through there a little bit of the furnishings of the front room. And there's also then... Oh, go ahead.
You mentioned the pantries. Is there any food in the pantries, stores?
No, nothing to speak of. There's crumbs and things that it looks unused.
Okay, so not...
there's some mason jars, but they're empty. There's, that kind of thing. A couple of tins they're not marked. You're not sure what's in them.
Okay.
Yeah, the stove is there. There's that. There's no refrigeration, of course. That's about it.
Then I will go into the parlor with the rest of the party.
Okay. So, when you look at the painting, you see it exactly as Etta May sees it. Everybody there with the Reverend drinking from a goblet, and Meshach and yourself sort of at this altar with the looming gray skeleton above it.
And is the looming gray skeleton human-sized or larger than...
Oh, it's oversized. It's like
oversized.
over the altar.
Okay. Well, I like it, but is it art?
Nice.
So does it come off the wall?
Okay, so now we are back of the painting. If the PCs take the painting, it's
How
quite
big is
heavy.
this thing?
It's big. It's probably 4 feet across or maybe 5 feet across and 3.5 feet tall.
Oh, wow. That's huge.
Yeah, it's a big painting.
Who's going to help me take this off the wall?
It's a mural almost. If you
I'll be on one side.
Okay.
I hear all sorts of volunteers for the other.
And if there's room, if they need help, I can.
So you want to take the painting down?
Yes, we just want to.
Okay. Yeah.
Now,
Just
assuming it's hanging on a wire or something, or hooks, we'll just try and lift it off.
it's mounted to the wall, sort of with brackets, but you can take it off. It's not impossible.
Okay.
It'll just take you a little bit of finesse. Actually, Kat could probably tinker with it.
Okay. Then I do have tinkering tools and 5 points in tinkering. So
Nice.
so D6.
Anything but a
then?
6. Yep, D6. Anything but a 6.
Just barely.
Okay, so you managed to take some fine tools and get behind there and undo some of the things that are affixing it to the wall, and so you can lift it easily off the wall once those are done.
And what's behind it?
A wall,
What's on the reverse side of the painting?
the back of a canvas.
Dogs playing poker.
It's on a wooden stretcher. It's canvas. It looks like the back of a painting.
This is unnatural.
I told you that. Remember?
Some devilry at work here. Etta May, what do you know of this stuff?
It's the old magic. You
Who
don't
can
want to be
do
messing around with that.
No.
Well, we might be able to heat up this cabin if we tossed it into the stove.
We have to
The
chop
painting
it up
looks-
first.
The painting looks quite ancient. I mean, not quite ancient, but it looks, and it's extremely well done. It's beautifully stretched. The detail, the artistic merit of it is quite high.
I suggest we turn it around and have it face the wall while we're in here. I don't know. I don't trust it looking at me.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with that.
So we'll just turn it around and just lean it again gently against the wall so that the face with the disturbing images on it is no longer visible.
Sorry, guys. I need to look at this for just a sec.
No problem.
Okay.
I'll look in the piano.
So it's an upright piano, right? So you are going to just look down in it, or
Yeah, I'll
you're
lift
gonna
up whatever. Yeah, I'll open it up and
Okay.
look
Yeah,
inside.
it opens from the top. You look in there. It looks like a piano.
Doesn't
there's
look like
nothing-
it's
Unusual.
nothing moving, nothing actually happening.
No, but the piano music is carrying on.
All right.
If you tap one of the keys, does it make a sound or?
It plays.
Okay.
So it is not really, or not necessarily connected to the piano music.
Don't bark.
You could assume that it plays even though the piano music continues to play.
Okay.
There are some spirits from hell creating the illusion of music in this room,
In the whole cabin.
in the
Yeah.
whole cabin.
All right, are there any other rooms other than the kitchen and...
The living room.
Remember when you are in the kitchen, there's a door and there's an opening. Now, as you walk toward, there's 2 doors in the kitchen. If you're facing the front, where the opening is headed towards the openings on one side, it's headed toward the other room there. There's a door. It's headed to that room. Well, to your right there is also another door headed to another room.
Okay. I open the door to the right.
And also across from the sitting room, there was a door, if you recall.
Right.
Okay, so you're going to go into the room. This is on the same side as the sitting room. As you walk towards the living room, it's also on your right. And this is a bedroom. It contains a bed, a wardrobe, a bedpan. There's a large backpack in the corner and some slippers on the bed. And then there's a little desk, and it has a quill and, or, a ballpoint pen, a fountain pen. That's what I'm trying to think of. And ink, and there's a book laying there.
All right. Well, I'll check that out.
Okay. What particularly are you checking out?
Oh, sorry.
The book?
The last
okay.
thing. The book.
It's a diary, and it says that it belongs to Ole Knorgetson, and it's written in English. And it's all about backpacking and mountaineering.
I see.
And it includes some diagrams and maps of his route of what he was planning on doing in his mountaineering here on this mountain.
Oh. So that's probably the guy who froze out in the snow.
You could probably assume that.
All right.
I go through the backpack.
Yeah, figured.
Loot the body.
That's right.
Inside the pack, there's 50 feet of silk rope,
Hmm.
extra warm clothing, a pickaxe, cooking pots, 2 weeks' rations, a grappling hook, a climbing harness, spiked climbing boots, flint and tinder, 4 flasks of lamp oil, 12 candles, and a lantern.
Sweet.
It's all some very useful stuff. Who doesn't have rope?
I don't have any rope.
So guys, make sure you mark on your character sheets what you are taking, because this will change encumbrance, and we might have to do a little...
All right, well, I'll take the rope and grapple hook if nobody else cares to.
We should definitely make sure we should maybe apportion the oil around so that everyone has some, or at least, anyway, we should take, I think that the oil is something valuable to...
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't mind carrying a lantern because we only have one, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really a big fighter type, despite the deal with the wolf. So I'll carry the lantern and 2 flasks of oil.
Okay, so there are 2 additional flasks still unaccounted for.
I'll take one.
Okay. Okay, we got all the flasks then. Flint and tinder. We have matches.
I have matches.
Yeah.
Matches don't work if they're wet, but I'm not sure what flint and tinder does either, so it's up to you guys if you want to take that. The spiked climbing boots,
Ooh.
they will fit Kat or Etta May.
Really?
They won't fit Meshach or the Reverend.
I'll take the climbing boots.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're quite a bit more spry than me.
There's also a climbing harness.
Should go with the boots.
Yeah.
We should take
Okay.
that.
And then the extra clothes, I'm just going to hand wave, even though we're supposed to count those. They're just normal clothes, but they're warm. So
I take the socks.
Yeah, we'll just hand wave those. You guys can do what you like.
Thick socks.
Dick's woolen socks. There's a pickaxe, a couple of cooking pots, and 2 weeks of rations. That's what's left.
Well, we should probably grab the rations.
Yeah.
We could share those out amongst ourselves.
A week of rations is very heavy.
Yeah, that's 14 days.
That's 14 days. That's a lot of encumbrance. So
That's right.
each one counts as one towards your encumbrance, which I thought.
Most. I mean, are they still good? Or we sniff them? Are they still edible?
They seem to be. They seem to be pretty fresh.
All right.
I don't know. I'm kind of thinking that I've already got 3 rations, and maybe if we can like stash them in the cupboard or something. If we find ourselves 2 days out and we need rations, maybe we can come back.
Yeah, it'd be good to have a little cash.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Maybe we like take some.
Okay.
Because I just took another 5 items, and I'm only lightly encumbered still.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And Keith, if you look at your character sheet, even though you're carrying a ton of stuff,
Yeah.
Dwarves get a free encumbrance, so you could still take an additional 5 items and still not be heavily encumbered. So I would think it would be okay if people wanted to get up to light encumbrance. It's up to you guys, but
yeah.
Okay, then she said there was some candles in that pack of stuff.
Oh, I'll take a couple of the candles, maybe.
there were 12 candles, so everybody can take some candles.
I'll take 3.
Yeah,
Really?
3
Candles. Because they're non-encumbering, the candles.
That's right, up to 5. You can take 5 candles with no encumbrance.
Yeah.
Like
So
12
I'll take
would be
3.
1.
We're good, yeah.
Okay, and the pickaxe, I think our dwarf already has a pickaxe. I don't know if anybody else wants one.
Got the miner's pick already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's some cooking pots as well.
I already have a cooking pot.
Yeah.
Full of wolf.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Also in this room, that's everything that was in that pack. Then I think
It's just turned 2:30, or it's just a little bit past 2:30.
Oh, yeah, so it is.
I'm afraid I have to take my leave,
Oh, Peter.
but it's been lovely. And I'm totally open to returning if you guys are doing a second session.
Okay. We'll figure it out. I really would like to continue with this. I'm having a lot of fun with you guys. I hope you're having fun as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. We'll let you go. I know you have to run. It was really fun. I'm glad you were able to join
Thank you very
us.
much. Thank you very much, Ethel, for organizing this, and nice meeting you guys.
Yeah, nice meeting you.
Yes. Likewise.
All right, take care, and may the Lord be with you.
Glory be. Glory be.
Godspeed, good sir.
I'm sure you're offending every Christian that's listening,
okay.
but that's okay. So guys, time check is 30. Does anybody else have to go?
I really have to feed my kids because it's 5:30 here.
Yeah, I understand. So,
I expended some marital capital already that I need to make
I
amends.
got it. Well, we only got as far as the cabin and not very far through that, so there's a lot left here.
Yeah,
I would love to play with this group again. I'll send out suggestions of when we might be able to do that,
Okay.
and get everybody's feedback and see if we can finish.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's been fun. I'm supposed to be cooking supper in just a few.
Yeah,
So.
I need to eat lunch. It's 2:30 in the afternoon. I haven't had lunch yet. So. Okay. Yeah, I hope you'll all be able to come back and join us. Hello, Internet, if you're watching or if you are watching later, there may be a part 2 coming up. Thanks, everyone.
Yep. Have a good one.